I could tell myself to have thick skin, but I actually kind of.
Don't worry, Yannis. Just be the bigger man. Wait. Oh, sorry.
Alan standing. I like the cameras. They're like, oh, camera.
Will you
camera's
guys
coming
get
back
off
to you, and
my boy,
Cap
alright?
just stands up like this. He's like, thanks a lot.
Alan, what would you tell your younger self?
I tell my
Yeah, what
younger self,
advice would you give your younger self?
do everything you did and hope that it again somehow works out.
Okay. Yeah, no, that seems reasonable. Yeah, I could vouch for that. Cap.
Commit to your passion.
Okay.
That's how I ended up here. But
yeah.
no, think about the path I went through was like I never really tried when it came to playing.
Right.
And then I went to college, dropped out of that, didn't really want to do that. Went into the military, ended up dropping out of that for Dota. If I just committed to Dota sooner, maybe I could have been casting TI2.
Probably not the best. Moving to our second game. What do you want to see from Mineski in this one?
Man, you know, I actually think, like, going back to it, I think maybe just getting the puck was a trap. I actually think that OG...
It was. We talked about it as well, Fog. We said,
I know.
We said, like, they probably set something up. Look at this. They're going to give the puck, and they're going to give them the veg, and they're probably prepared for it in the hand.
I think they actually did kind of set the trap, but I would just make the adjustment of get rid of Naga. I think it just makes your game plan too hard. Even though, like,
100%.
sure, Jarex maybe he didn't have, like, the best performance ever on Naga, but he had a good enough performance, and the hero just makes the game a lot harder to play. So
wanted to talk about this in every series that we've done. It just feels like if there's one hero that has defined the last two ESL events, it's been the Naga Siren, and yet somehow it's not getting banned.
Yeah, it keeps getting through. I was going to raise this actually with you because when we went through Star Ladders, picks and bans as well, it features very highly. Picked and banned 29 times, but more interestingly, banned 21 times at Star Ladder last weekend. Yeah. Only picked 8 times because they wouldn't let it through. Here, they're letting it through. Is that because we're in group stages and they're like, okay, we think we figured it out. Let them have it, see if we can play against it.
I mean, we can't talk about that because Kuro wouldn't ban it in a grand final. So, and he's the best drafter in the world.
Yeah.
So there is something to the idea that we want to figure this hero out. You can't ban everything, but man, it just feels like there's no one hero that's had as much influence on the tenor of these games.
If you're not first pick, get rid of it. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been feeling lately.
Or if you haven't had a win against it. You know?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
At this point, you're Mineski, you're 1 game away from elimination. Get rid of it, man.
Stop messing about.
They are first pick this time, though. That's the thing. So they're first pick, so they don't have to technically actually ban it.
So maybe we'll see how OG answer in August.
Yeah. I think they're gonna ban it. I think they'll ban Naga and they'll ban Tiny. I can't leave it.
And there's the Naga.
Yeah, they ban the Naga. And I don't think you give up those heroes.
I think Tiny
be like OG.
Be like OG.
Be smart.
I like that. That was good. So Mineski. This one I think you could just. Is there any? I don't think they need to ban everything. Any specific thing here actually. They've got their options open. Maybe they can just get rid of the Omni. But their first pick, they could also want it.
So maybe you could be giving up Omni Razor combo.
Yeah, maybe you just get rid of one of the two. And OG's gonna ban Tiny. Okay, so they just do that gyro ban. They did that one earlier today, right? Or the last series too.
You know, Mineski does have issues against the Omni Knight. They are 0-4 against that hero in the last month, but I don't think that. I think you can maybe make the argument for the Omni ban over the gyro, but I don't think you can involve the other two.
I would make the assumption that OG's like it just fits with No-Tell, right? It's aggressive, playmaking, space creating sort of hero.
What, the gyro?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually think that hero's so good right now. I think Vici's like one of the few teams that actually just displayed how to take advantage of the hero, but
yeah,
that hero's just
I think gyro's in my tier of heroes right now that's obviously really good, but that I would not call broken.
That Raptor boy.
Yeah.
I think maybe slight tweaks. I'm a little the movement speed thing for me is a little crazy. You're so fast. I don't know, these heroes are also fast. It's edgy heroes. That's slight. I mean, sure, the movement speed on the edgy bonus isn't really too much, but they all just go phase drum like S and Y. They're all just zooming around the map. So Disruptor first pick though. I think this is one of the 5s. I have like I think like 3 or 4 that I list. Like
It is the most
disruptor
hero in this patch. But I see. I actually really like that. I think that the Tusk, it is good against a lot of disruptor lineups, but it's not necessarily great against the disruptor himself.
It goes both ways.
Exactly.
You can dodge the glimpse, right? You can snowball your buddies. You can snowball yourself to be able to like. Not
But if you get
sacrifice
caught
people,
in
but
the
if you
ult-
get caught, if you snowball your teammates into a static storm or something, yeah, sure, it can be super detrimental.
So, but that's actually the kind of matchups that I really like to see. Those sort of double-edged swords.
And they go that safe Witch Doctor again. I'm happy to see Witch Doctor so much. I love this hero.
So it's interesting. Mineski very, very frequently opens support core, much more often than the dual support open. That's one of the adjustments I was wondering about them making to this game.
Do they stray away from their Night Stalker this time?
Run a lot of sets with 2 traditional mid heroes.
The pressure of the Tusk rotation into mid very much lessened when you have
Yeah.
Death Prophet. Doesn't really care about a lot of those 4 position rotators, and the Maledict is not like a huge threat because oftentimes Spirit Siphon allows you to be able to keep your HP up, so Maledict's ticks don't really have a big effect on you.
That's a super important point. We were just watching this game off stream where Artur was playing a Medusa against a TA mid, and he was 4-2 when the TA was like 20-4 because there was a Tusk in his face the whole time. But DP does not have nearly the same problem.
And they have Disruptor with it already too, so
Exactly.
they've got the hold to keep them with the spirits, which is always going to be useful. Lots of silence coming out on their team and ready. Static Storm plus DP.
I think one of the most important things when you have a disruptor is to make sure that you do have the better team fight, to make sure that you are going to be that team forcing engagements onto the enemy. So it opens up more opportunities. The enemy team may feel like they have to split push, you get glimpse kills. You have better initiation, you're following it up with Static Storm. And Death Prophet definitely gives you a big boost in team fight. I'm not sure if it's the opener that I like. Maybe I would have gone like Razor or something, but I have clue.
I do like it because they see the OG heroes, right? Tusk, he's not a team fighter. This hero's, sure, he can give you some, but he's more of that lane-oriented and just pick-off kind of guy. So yeah, Mineski already, they've drafted hard concrete team fighters. Way look at OGs, more about the lanes.
So just briefly about the Razor, I think the comment about I think Razor is only good as an open when you're running it on multiple players and in multiple lanes. And Mineski has been almost exclusively Mushi Razor team when they pick that hero. So when you're only running it on one player, mostly in the safe lane, I think it loses a lot of value.
Look at those. OG, that's both games they banned Brew and OD.
I absolutely agree with it, honestly. It's just they're heroes that enable what Mineski does. We talk about the farm distribution. We talk about the fact that Mineski likes to have one active do stuff core and 2 other cores when they're successful anyway that they can split farm among. And so many of the lineups that fit that description involve those 2 heroes.
Jug pick.
Interesting.
Saw a couple of jugs yesterday. They were very powerful yesterday.
Oh, the Paparazzi jug was that was to me that was maybe the game of the tournament so far, individual performance score wise. But I still think that while you have Beastmaster still in the pool, you don't need to ban jug. Okay.
Seen many, but there have been a few bans.
The kill threat. Now the Tusk is more
Yeah.
overwhelming versus that Death Prophet. You get him sharded in, double Razor, triple Raise dead.
That
I
is
kept watching
such
that
a
at
difference.
Starladder. against
Starlight,
Team
right?
Fight.
I think it was Starlighter.
It was the
Tusk SF is a really
hard card combo to beat mid lane.
It was funny to me. Of course, a lot of people were picking Clock SF for the cogs to begin with, but when they were running it, they saw, with this raise stacking, you catch a hero in the cogs mid early on, and they just die. But you can do the same thing with shards you can do with cogs otherwise.
And you can actually provide defense for your SF, which SF, of course, we know, super squishy. Doesn't have his own way to protect himself. It comes through items.
Yes,
This gives him a bit more team fight now too for OG.
So I talked about the possibility of the OD, which was banned by OG in the second phase, but I do think you need to pick with an eye toward getting a save or semi-save for the Death Prophet.
Is that the first Earthshaker?
I believe it is in the tournament.
Huh.
That's a
It is not a good hero. It's not a hero that Mineski have. I believe it's not. No, they have. Okay, Jabs. Jabs has played it twice.
Why'd they do that to her?
It has had one pick actually. In this
It has had one.
Oh, who
Yeah,
picked it?
One. I don't.
Okay.
We didn't
know,
see it.
but
That was
it
off
wasn't on the main
Right.
event. But
Fair
Did
enough.
lose.
there was one, and it was a loss, and it was in the OG Effect game.
Oh, okay.
It's good protecting the hero
And
against
you run
it
that. They do
would
run
have been Effect that would have run that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
King
Yeah, it is a protect hero, but those nerfs, you know, it's not even just sure the Echo Slam got reduced. That damage, you know, it doesn't really do anything on single, but
Yeah.
you also don't get that 10 strength talent at 10 anymore. There's so many things that just really hurt this hero.
To me, it's just
Small
the,
things.
To me, it's just the fact that the threat of that burst damage is
Yeah.
gone. That's the Earthshaker felt so good around this last TI because you always had to respect that burst damage, either in the 3 or the 4 position. And now that you just can't open with your combo and just straight up kill somebody anymore, it's like
And they take, okay, so S4
this-
puck.
this is a really nice
They're
route.
gonna take the puck into Disruptor and Earthshaker.
No.
They don't care.
Yeah, but it's an S4 puck, right? Offlane puck is so offlane puck getting countered matters so much less.
I mean,
Because as long as he throws down his one spell combo in the fight, he's done his job. He doesn't have to live.
He can force a lot versus these supports. They're not strong. Earthshaker Disruptor are weak laning supports. He can easy get the wave. He can easily pull it. He can manipulate that safe lane for himself quite hard.
And there's unlikely that Mineski can give themselves an aggro tri-lane in a 1v1
And-
matchup with these supports
I
as
think
well.
Mineski might actually be put in fear of, oh god, we run Venge Puck.
Yep.
What if they take our Venge Puck as a last pick, especially versus Death Prophet?
Yeah, Death Prophet.
And
is
they have-
Oh,
food.
And the difference is it's with the Shadow Fiend. It's not just
and
this,
it's
like
oh
Venge.
god,
I
that's
actually think
such a great call.
I actually think Mineski might just have to ban the Venge.
And this
for
is
the last round.
Resolution possibly playing the Venge. And this is the region that pioneered
It would be no tail
core
on the
farming
Venge.
Venge.
It would be no tail.
Oh, all right, fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah,
That's right. Resolution that stuff, of course.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Rezo understand. I've seen him play that hero before. He understands it.
Yeah.
It's his second most played right now.
I like Omni here actually.
I like having a save for Death Prophet
Yeah.
always. So this is nice already.
It's a save for Death Prophet, and I thought Earthshaker was a little bit reactionary, right? They're thinking, okay, we got to be able to deal with this Tusk mid, so we're gonna have the Earthshaker play behind the Death Prophet mid, but the Earthshaker doesn't protect the Death Prophet as the game goes on. All right,
They need some big carry here on the side of Mineski. Sure, they've got team fight. Sure, they've got damage from exorcism, but
terribly.
who's going to carry the game?
Terribly. They are not a TB team.
They're not much of a
Nope.
TV team.
They are Mushi.
But she has played
1
it
and
with it.
2 with it since
So-
January 1st.
Man, it's like I'm thinking they're going to pick PL, but I feel like they want someone else who can use the repel a bit. And Phantom Lancer's not a repel user, and they have not been doing so great with the Phantom Lancer.
I
Right?
almost feel like OG are baiting them.
Baiting the PL. Yeah.
I was thinking about it a little bit different. I thought Mineski needed a aggressive frontline sort of hero because of their style that they do, right?
Okay.
I actually didn't think that Mineski was going to go for like those harder tide carries.
I can see Lifestealer, but I don't.
I think
It's that
Razor
good.
threatens Puck more than
Ugh.
Lifestealer.
But then where are you? What does that leave you with? I mean, it's
Not saying I'm obsessed with Razor, but
the more I look at this, the more I think Razor's you're probably right. Razor has to be
Yeah, they
the
banned
big thing they're looking at. but
Void.
They
God,
banned
good.
Void for the DP,
Yeah.
Void DP, because it's just to solidify the fight.
10 seconds remaining.
Does Mineski. So what is OG? What else could OG want? The Venge. This could be one of those games for the Arc Warden.
ooh. I mean, I guess you
really like
could
the
get.
Venge for OG.
I guess you could get Keep Brood Mother here. It's scary against the Earthshaker, but
Not in the laning phase. Laning phase.
yeah, laning phase
Yeah, laning phase.
chews him
eats-
up.
Eats him.
But so Lifestealer, maybe?
It's an odd ban.
Lifestealer Luna TA?
Lifestealer. Yeah, man.
10 seconds remaining.
Those are the three that I can see. I'm having trouble coming up with any others. I
Talk about the PL.
Yeah, we
talked about
mentioned
baiting the PL. The Queen of Pain is a possibility, but I hate that thing here.
I think they need something that can transition and benefit. Just something that can benefit from this repel.
That's okay.
So Dragon Knight.
I mean, it's looked good this tournament, for sure.
Yep.
So OG.
Second most picked.
I'm still thinking Avenger or Arc Warden, unless they go for something like Lone Druid and they just go for super late game.
Arc Warden is disgusting.
Yeah, Arc Warden, Lone Druid, Venge. Those are the three I put.
Isn't Arc Warden? I thought Death Prophet was supposed to be one of the better heroes against
5
Arc Warden
seconds remaining.
because they
Yeah.
go through bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it gets to the point in the game. Okay, so
There
they're
you go,
gonna have
Monkey King.
Oh, against the draft. Oh, okay, all right.
Against DK, and they have the puck this time around.
OG.
Alan's already done.
Wow.
But we've not even asked for predictions.
Nasty.
Alan's just like OG.
I think
not-
OG. I think OG figured him out. I really do.
Yeah.
I think with this draft that
They're playing with them in this draft.
not necessarily playing with them, but I think after that game one comeback, they had a chance to look at the draft. They had a chance to talk to Mad. I just think they have something figured out.
Right, okay.
Mineski.
Okay.
Why?
Oh, what? You're asking me why?
To screw
Come on,
with
I was
me?
just passing off. Come on.
You're trying to egg him.
Oh,
We don't have time for the
no,
argument.
we
We don't
don't.
have time
Oh.
for this one. I'm gonna go with OG as well. I actually
Okay.
do think they look super prepared now for this team.
All
I've
right,
seen the
okay.
last game.
All right. 2 for OG, 1 for Mineski, and we haven't even asked him why. Let's find out from our commentators what they're going to make of this one. Gents, we move into game 2 with a bit of a flip here in the draft.
We
The old
do.
monkey and the puck have moved across the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. As much as a monkey ice is no tail, I'm sure he's going to be a great monkey as well. He's a cheeky little fella, no tail, and yeah, take it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yet to find out.
We will find out pretty shortly as we get so soon into the game. But the other picks sort of elsewhere around it. I mean, Mineski getting that very strong 4th pick. They get that Omni Knight through, which I feel like we're starting to see teams maybe rate a little less more recently. It seems to be a hero that's sort of getting forgotten about or just being for at later stages of the draft in a phase where about a month ago, this hero would always be first phase ban and pick.
MK?
The Omni Knight.
Oh, the Omni? I think the Omni's still, like, incredibly strong.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Like, I don't... The thing is the hero inherently is so good. Like, there's how many times can you nerf a hero that gives you physical immunity, magic immunity,
Yeah.
and a very nice heal? Like, one of the best heals in the game because it's also so
Prepare
offensive.
for battle.
Like, it's got a good laning phase on top of that. Like, conceptually, Omni Knight is such a sick hero, right? How many times in a row have they nerfed it? I know every time they nerf it, Slacks gets really worried. Like, he panics and he tells me, he's like, I hope this team loses with
I
it.
know he's. We got to look after Slacks because what updates every 2 weeks. He's
sweating.
He's sweating a lot.
He's sweating.
With each and every draft of the Omni Knight in competitive indeed, and yeah. So here again, game 2, ladies and gentlemen. OG versus Mineski. OG, of course, up 1 game. All very tense and exciting between these two teams, though. They have to step it up. Game 1, we saw some brilliant plays, but we also saw some questionable plays. So hoping that both teams, they've had their team talks, and they're coming into this game with a sort of a refreshed approach to the game.
Whose lineup do you like better?
Personally, I'm not sold on Monkey King. As a hero, I think this hero sure has a lot of strengths, great matchups and such, but I think overall, in terms of a core to carry a game, I think it definitely has its lackings. So I would sort of agree with the panel with the Mineski. With the DK and the DP and the Omni Knight, I think OG's going to struggle, personally.
Who took,
The battle
was it Nahaz took OG only?
I think so because what? Cap said Mineski, and I
Cap
think
said
Fog said
Mineski.
Mineski.
Did he? Okay.
I never listened to the panel anyway, you know.
Yeah,
Who
me
do- who
neither.
does, you know?
Cares, dude.
But we'll see, what do you think? What about you?
I kind of like OG's
You
lineup.
like OG's here?
Yeah, I think they're going to be playing fast around the SF. Like, I think they're going to play really quickly around the Shadow Fiend. And is Mushi mid? What's going on here? Mushi for Moon?
Team play.
What a guy.
So they get themselves out. They did have the ward miss, so maybe they were seeing if maybe... I don't know, I was going to say they would dodge the matchup, and in a sense they do, because well, S4's going to be against Mushi top. And And they will have, obviously, Rezo versus the DP and the Monkey King for OG down bottom, farming up against the Omni Knight. I guess the couple of matchups that OG wouldn't have minded the Monkey King. Either the Omni lane or the DK lane. I guess they're both lanes where you're going to be able to build up the stacks and sort of harass back, right?
Yeah. Rezo's getting low, but the stun's going to fly onto Fly.
That's your first blood.
Okay.
Fisher block coming through. And that's something I feel like I haven't said that in a long time, because we just don't see Earthshaker, do we, Will?
Yeah.
No one
Earthshaker
plays this hero anymore.
Well, he just got nerfed
Yeah.
quite a bit. The thing about Earthshaker was he was straight up the best hero in Dota for a while.
Yeah.
Because you could solo kill any hero in the game from a forward position standpoint. Once you got Blink Dagger, you were solo killing a core. You know how obnoxious it was to see these like 4K players just run at me with Earthshaker? No Tail might go down, but gets around the tree line. It felt incredible though. I'd play like a 1500 HP hero. I'd stand near creeps, just get burst instantly and die solo. It was great.
I'm excited to see if Jabs can make it work again this game. So far, sets up for the first blood, and already had a bit of a jab down bottom onto No-Tail, and he's prepared to do so again. Does have the Fisher backup that has the mana for it. Yeah, all eyes on seeing whether Mineski can still make the Shaker perform in 2018.
Still a good hero. Like Fisher inherently is always going to be okay. The fact that he comes equipped with more or less 3 stuns. Of course, Enchant and Echo don't really stun unless you're right next to people. But even then, once you get a Blink Dagger, you've got 3 initiations. It's always going to be really nice. Works well for the DP too, because it's very offensive and defense. As in mid with the DD. Gonna come through. Jabs is ready for this as well. They're gonna go for a straight up tri lane. I really like this idea though. You try to shut down Rezo. Rezo is the true carry in this situation. The Monkey King is a side core. Like they don't really care if No-Tail has a good game or not.
I mean, so far, even though Mineski have been sending heroes mid, Rezo is having a very strong start on this SF. It's 12-4. Already the soul's nice and high, so taking the CS from Moon, relatively easy for the Shadow Fiend.
And Jax just walking around. He's gonna go for the pull and try to get a level 2. He understands that going mid is honestly just a waste of time right now. When the Earthshaker sits behind it, behind the DP, it's impossible to make a move. And so he's just trying to secure his levels. And going up the top I think is fruitless too. And killing an Omni Knight doesn't seem very easy. No. It's the Monkey King.
I mean, and talking about the, as you were sort of been saying, the strengths that the Shaker once had and the some that he still had. What's sort of the bad side of this hero? Why is it not favored? What's so weak about it now that makes it hard to play for a lot of teams in this meta?
The ulti is a lot worse than it used to be. Like before in the past, it felt like you could always get the solo kill, but now it feels quite impossible. As nice Tusk, Ice Shard's blocked, but No-Tail whiffing a little bit, but they should still get this kill quite easily. One more hit.
Did have a look to see if he could get that neutral deny, but indeed OG able to find it with the Maledict fly.
Resolution. He's given the treatment. They are genuinely just 3-on-1ing him right now.
But the question is, I mean, is it really working? Because he's still CSing fine.
Yeah, he's actually doing just okay. And Jabs, I think, is in a position where he feels the same thing that Jerax does, where he's like, I don't have a lane to go to, but at least Jerax is pulling, and he's getting XP that way. Jabs is in a position where he's just ambling between mid and top, or mid and bottom, and trying to set up for something, but it's not quite there. As now the counter 3-man comes from OG. Maybe Jabs will just like throw out a fissure to say like screw it, but he's wasting a lot of time right now. I think he's still level 1.
He's level 2 now.
Yeah.
On the Shaker, yeah. 2.5 at the moment. Down bottom. No-Tail. He's found himself ice. Does have Jerax with him. Jerax looking for the sharp block. A little off with the play there. Unable to get the block off, and with Jabs' presence, ice more than safe. Of course, down here, ice. Getting a decent amount of CS. Mid lane, Moon. Another attempt being made upon him, but he had the Spirit Siphon to heal himself back up. Wrap around for Ninja Boogie. Gets the kinetic field down onto Fly, but Moon still on him. Knows that he can't chase one raise, and Moon would have been dead, so he'll have to back off. Doesn't regen at the moment either, but does have the shrine available, so heads over to the shrine.
OG are doing really well in all their lanes so far. As Mushi gonna cop a bit of damage. The TP comes in as well. They cancel.
Oh, looks like they did. S4 on his own at the moment. Maybe worried that Mushi was going to get aggressive and then would have looked for the chance.
Oh, no tail.
They found him down bottom. With the field down, he is surrounded. He's trying to build up the Jingu stack so he can get some sort of lifesteal back in response. He might actually be able to do so here onto Jabs, and if he lands it down, that's going to be a lot of lifesteal. Does get it. Is it enough to keep him alive?
Oh, he's going to get the kill.
Yeah, it's enough to keep him alive long enough for the Jabs kill. He will still fall. They tried their best to stunlock him there so he couldn't get the boundless strike out, but they just didn't have quite enough control and damage. Sure, they do still get the kill, but No Tail bringing one of them down with him.
It's not even that bad for him, honestly. That was a 3-man rotation. They split between 2 heroes. He gets a solo kill. Don't think it's the worst thing in the world. The rest of his lanes are going to alleviate a lot of pressure as up at top. Fly going to come in. No Tail.
Coil. Straight down. Fly. Only get the cast off. Throws the Maledict first, and well, with the Dream Coil snapback and the right clicks, that'll be more than enough to bring Mushi down.
I said No Tail, but I meant to say Dragon Tail. It's in mid, Moon. Getting aggressive. There's a catapult here. It looks like for a second they want to protect it. The 3-man rotation
Look at
comes
these
in.
TPs though, straight away. They will bring both of them in. So they can get a kill out of this as well. They're looking for Ninja Boogie.
He is perfectly fine, I guess.
Doesn't have a TP though.
What's your play there? If you're like, he is wasting a lot of time as in mid.
Maledict, Snowball. That'll be a kill for Rezo. Punishing Moon on the mid lane. As Ninja Boogie just continue to try and make his safe walk back to his half of the map. But so far, these 7 minutes, top 3 CSs on the board are all those of OG. They're having a good time with their lanes. And we're still, it really does feel, other than that first play, I'm struggling to see what Jabs is able to achieve on the Shaker. It seems like a very hard game for him to play this hero at the moment.
And that's the problem, right? Is when you play Shaker, you often want to try to win the mid lane, but Witch Doctor was waiting there the entire time. DP probably going to go down here again. And this is something I want to point out too, is the later rotations matter so much more, Owen.
Oh, down bottom as well. They look
Is
for
he going to get a kill again?
He does. He gets the Jingu stacked up just in time before the boundless. He'll turn. He should still die here as Ice and Jabs will surround him.
Again, it feels okay though. They get the kill mid as a return. He gets a kill again. They're splitting XP between this. That's really the only kill that they can really get, because OG understand, it's whatever. And I think they're surprised even that No Tail's still getting those kills, because he's the only person on the map that they can reasonably kill. Like, S4 is not an easy kill by any means. Already 4 levels up into the orb. It's up at top. It looks like they want to make a move again. I think they're going to wait for Fly. I think you wait for Fly, you
They
pop
need
the
the
Fly and go
Maledict.
again.
Yeah, with the Maledict they can do it. Other than that, it's still a bit of a tricky one to go for.
This time he's warded though. They're going to make a counter rotation. I think they're thinking about baiting him, but...
They go straight away.
Oh, not like this.
Mushi, too far away from the backup that's inbound. With the Maledict on him, he's gone. The backup just not able to get there in time.
They were trying to bait, but his team was so far away, and he saw the Witch Doctor come in under that ward. Maybe he just thought, like, okay, well, they'll wait half a second. My team...
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Mid lane. Climbs onto Moon. Moon keeping his distance. They have once again multiple heroes behind Moon in this mid lane. Bottom lane, No Tail. Manning up onto Ice. The boundless won't be enough to get the kill, but certainly keeping Ice on his toes down here. The support's starting to move down, but I believe the line was drawn by Jerax, as he indicates for No Tail to play it safe, and indeed No Tail, as you can see, does. This warning as well. Look, they have, what, 3 wards around that mid lane?
He's the only person that they can kill. They understand that everyone is either waiting behind top or mid. They've made that rotation so many times, and No Tail's starting to learn from it, because he's like, okay, they've gone and ganked me twice. They understand, like, the other 2 cores are not very easily gankable. It's not worth the time investment to try to find the SF, and Puck is a very difficult kill for us. But they're gonna get red very easily too, because once the Disruptor makes the rotation in mid, Owen, then they know that Moon he's not a jungler on DP. DP is a hero that wants to get that ultimate off. When you have these long, like 2-minute cooldowns, you want to try to get him off as often as possible. And so you know he's rotating somewhere. It's got to be bottom. But it's going to be 5 heroes now. They're going to converge on mid.
OG want to fight. Kills. They're coming in with a wraparound from behind.
They should def this tower. This is a winnable fight.
Into the Elder Dragon and Exorcism. It could be tricky. They put the shards blocking off the steps at the moment. Jarex has his eyes onto Ninja Boogie. He's looking for who he wants to commit onto. Still on the side, getting caught out by jabs. They've got the Dream Core down there. Mushi getting bursted low by the raises. Mushi will fall. The Death Prophet is well in trouble. That's a second kill here off the defense from OG. They'll block Ninja Boogie up with the shard. Set Resolution up for the double kill. And that's got to be bad news for Mineski. If you're going mid as 5, committing the Dragon Form, committing the Exorcism, and you don't get the tower, you lose 3 heroes, including those 2 cores, and then you lose the mid tower yourself.
Yes, and that's why I really wanted them to defend that tower. Like, there's no way that OG gives that up for free, not with the kind of lead that they have. Their heroes are so strong. SF, in the past, we used to think of him as such a weak core, but he's so tanky nowadays. It's not easy to kill this hero. He's got drums already. He's got a ton of health backing himself up. If you don't immediately burst him, if you get triple raised, almost any hero in the game goes down. Now you've got a Blink Dagger on the Puck, who's had a very successful laning phase. He's going to go for the BKB next, which is going to be your game ender at that point. And it's hard for Mineski to deal with because jabs, they can enable this 4 position. When you play a 4 position in this game, you want to be in a position where you threaten on the map at all times. And Jarex was very smart about this. He realized, okay, I'm in a similar position as jabs, so what does he do? He goes bottom and he pulls the wave instead and just tries to get XP so that, you know, he can make plays later on to the game. When S4 hits level 6, they can go up there and get kills. He was a little bit more patient, whereas you pointed it out yourself. Jabs is running between bottom and mid, throwing out the occasional fissure. It's not really his fault because it's just the way that the draft is geared.
Absolutely not. It as you say, it just feels lackings of the hero being shown. But we'll have to see. Maybe Mineski, they can swing it around and we could get to the point where we see Jams able to come in with some big level 6 plays, but still just level 4 at the moment on the shake-up.
That's why I was kind of surprised that Nahaz was right again. I completely agree with that. I felt like OG's draft was a little bit regardless. They're going to make a move once again.
Right in with the 2-man Dream Core, no tail as well. Drop down, Ice unable to get off a single spell with the control OG have. Mineski just continuing to try and make these plays, make these movements, but it really just feels like they just don't have the heroes to do it. And now that there's a 6k gold advantage for OG, it's just become so hard.
Silence is going to fly out, but the fissure doesn't end up on the side that they wanted to. They're going to guess wrong, though.
Still able to chase this down Moon. He's so close to the shrine, but the burst is just too damn high from OG.
They might even get a kill on jabs as Fly going to run into him here. Potentially, they're just passing through each other.
Won't quite see each other with an night vision. Bottom lane, Notel jumping in and out. Playing around with Ice. But yeah, OG now with themselves positioned up towards top can look to try and put some pressure onto the safe lane tier 1 tower of Mineski.
Notel just jumping in and out, clearing the wave, getting out.
Yeah, it's with the build as well. Get Void Stone first. Got decent mana regen, so can afford to just spam out the lanes with the Primal Spring. Help keep the push on and keep the pressure alleviated from that tier 1 tower, whilst keeping himself hidden in the trees in between each time the spell's on cooldown.
The next Mineski is going to be when their Earthshaker hits his Blink Dagger timing. That's when you can maybe begin to make some comebacks. It's going to require OG to slip up a little bit, but we've seen that they do have the potential to do that. If we saw in the Vici series, they were in similar position. I mean, I think this game is a much bigger lead.
They know that No-Tail's around here. They did just scan him in the trees. But No-Tail, he's got backup coming in this time. He does. He gets the right tree, Ice. They will surround him. Same time in mid trying to make a play. They'll drop the Static Storm. They have managed to trap No-Tail, and they will be able to kill the Monkey King. Same time mid, Mushi loses his own life. Now OG, they're coming in for the defense. They'll say, you can take the Monkey King, but we don't want to let you take our tower. Rezo revving up the Red Brim from the side. It doesn't actually clip onto them. It's just the effect of limiting the damage. So a little bit of an ambitious ult, but it does at least force Maneski to back off. And again, this is a usage of the exorcism. Did get them a crucial kill, but still unable to get them those tower objectives that they've been hunting for.
Yeah, they really want to pick up any of the tier 1s. You've got a DP and a DK on your team. You're telling me you haven't taken a single tier 1 tower at 15 minutes. That is not the way that they wanted to execute this lineup whatsoever. Maneski, very nice pickup. Ice is a beast. The fact that he was able to read that tree. DOTA was even being real good about it. He just kept going between them, back and forth. But BKB almost now completed on Rezo.
And that's a substantial lead, 7k at the moment. All 3 cores of OG, of course, ahead of those of Maneski. And it as we've been saying, it definitely feels like the reason why they can't quite keep on to par is they can't get these towers. This is something that the Def Prophet, she relies on to be able to sort of keep the advantage. And it's just not happening at the moment as Moon is suffering towards the bottom half of the overall individual net worths this game.
Yeah. You seen DOTA, by the way? He got really afraid. He got kind of close to Ice, but he's like, oh wait, this is Ice. There's a decent chance he'll just decide to throw out the tree.
He's a bit of an expert with that, as we've seen us.
He just played the hero, so he's in that zone.
He knows the trees. He knows where you want to be going.
Yeah.
He knows the good spots.
But they're waiting for Jabs' blink. This is the next major thing that they can really grab to try to change things. But Jabs is not even level 6, and it is 16 minutes. And when you can't enable your position player, especially in this patch, it feels very bad. That's like one of the biggest knocks on EG right now, is it feels like Crit doesn't really have a lot of games sometimes. And when Crit doesn't have a game, you're not creating space for anybody. And this is kind of a similar position. But once he gets his level 6 and his Blink Dagger, they can't change things. This is the upside. And there's very tanky cores on the side of Maneski, so the team fight should never be discounted whatsoever. But at this point in the game, it's kind of an uphill battle.
We'll finally be able to take that tier 1 tower from OG on the bottom lane. They do still have the Ghost up. Ice on the hunt. Monkey King up in the trees. There's Ice is about. They are bringing more members down here, OG. Making sure that Maneski doesn't get confident.
Yeah, you've got the blink now. This is where it all turns around, Owen.
Got to look out for those big echoes. Definitely the chance, sort of a misplay from Jax with a snowball could set up for some beautiful combos for Jabs.
He needs a big echo slam.
See what they can do with that. They almost certainly want to make a play. Shadow Blade as well, picked up by Mushi. They have a lot of catch now on Maneski.
They want to rush? I think they're just baiting it. Both sides are just on opposite sides.
I guess with the full lineup there, they could do it. It's not necessarily going to be the quickest of Roshan's.
At all.
No.
It's weird that they're going for this.
I think they're realizing they're like, whoops, indeed, says Fly. I guess they thought they had a hero that they didn't have or something as yet. Roche is not really that easy with those. Sure, he got an SF, he packs quite a punch, but yeah, it's not happening at the moment.
The other two cores don't do anything, and they don't have a take for it. It would take some time.
Are they going to try again?
Here we go. Now they're going to ice
with
shard.
the sharp play. There we go. That's what they were missing.
Hey, it's still not very quick. This is... It depends on if Mineski realizes that OG have actually not shown on the map for
I mean, those shots,
quite some time.
that certainly helped out. Made it a little safer.
Still taking.
I mean, Mineski, they're going to come over, sure. They're going to be like, where the hell
Yeah, they should
where
really.
is everybody?
At this point, this should kind of be revealed. Nobody on OG has shown. They thought it was a smoke play at first, but Roshan's starting to get
But
low.
they're not going.
Yeah, this has been one of the longer Roshan
Mushi's
attempts.
just going to farm ancients. They didn't check it out at all. So despite how long it took OG, they just get away with a full 5-man sitting at the pit.
So you could see the reasoning. Like at first, OG or Mineski are like, oh well, they're probably just smoked up. So you saw what they did, right? They took every high ground angle that OG could approach from. Because if a team doesn't show and all your lanes are shoved in, at some point you realize like, okay, they're probably grouped up doing something.
Yeah.
But then the time that they were smoked had passed at that point, and even though it was a very long Roshan.
I mean, I guess they, to be fair to OG, they played it in the sense they knew Mineski would probably be thinking what we were thinking. Mineski's not looking at this lineup going, there's a definite Roche threat from these heroes.
Yeah, it's the next level. I would agree, honestly. I don't know how much I can blame Mineski there, too.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm being harsh on them, but it's just because that was such an unseasonably long Roshan. But I think the assumption is, okay, they don't Roshan very easily if you take a look at their heroes. Like, that took, like, a full attempt, then they backed out, then they were like, okay,
They're like,
how do we really do
maybe,
this?
Maybe we can get away with this, because they obviously were aware that Mineski weren't coming to look it up. Yeah.
But if Mineski were aware of it, they would have taken that fight. They got the blink dagger on it. It's a pit fight. It's one of the better ways to fight. There's not any shrines nearby or anything like that. Roshan fights are always chaotic as S4. Actually, gonna get Yules up in the air.
He's in trouble. They got the static storm down surrounding him, and they were jumping and grabbing. They popped the echo slam for that as well. I don't know if that was necessarily necessary.
I think that's gonna trigger OG into getting into a fight. That should lead them to the assumption like we should defend this tower.
No, they know there's no echo. They know there's no static storm. I've got a Shadow Blade as well as a BKB complete on Rezo. He is absolutely massive this game on the Shadow Fiend. I'm going for that full out Silver Edge next to help them dispose of the DK that little bit easier. That'd be very nice.
Really like that item, by the way, with the level 25 cooldown. It's up permanently.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, is it actually? Is that how it works out with the SF?
It's pretty certain.
I think you sound about right. I mean, it's 40%, isn't it? Something pretty ridiculous. What? 24-second cooldown and yeah.
Oh,
Rezo.
there you go.
They might get 2 out of this as well. They're chasing down Mushi. They've got the slow from NoTail. He's going to be able to build up the Jingu stacks. There will be a Dragon Tail holding him back. They'll go for the Melodic Death Ward. Mushi will be saved, forced back. Yeah, trying to do some quick maths there. 24 seconds.
I like how you're still focusing on
40 seconds. So 40% of 24 is 2.4 times 4, which is 9.6. 9.6 minus 24, that's 14.4. So yeah, it's a 14.4 cooldown for a 14-second duration. So 0.4 seconds off 100% uptime. It's very close.
I've gone it before.
It's 98.76254% uptime.
Repeating, of course.
I just made that number up. Bottom lane OG. They'll move over. They took the tier 2 mid. They'll keep the flow down bottom. They know that they're strong. They know that it's very hard for Mineski to really put a dent into their lineup with that Aegis still being in Resolution's hands. So
They still want to take the fight. They're getting so far behind right now. S4 though, gonna completely break the smoke. They're gonna make the initiation.
Yes, S4's there from behind. He's got eyes on the wall. Wukong's command will be dropped down from NoTail, forcing Mineski back. They pop the dust. They've got eyes. The car's bouncing between them. OG just doing a great job of holding Mineski back from being able to jump into any sort of fight. As S4 still eyeing it up.
Yeah, he's still behind them. Feels like that would have been an okay opportunity for them to go.
Yeah, playing a little. I mean, I guess understandably playing safe. We saw in the last game a few mistakes being made from both sides, so both teams being sort of a little more reserved in how they jump around with their play style.
I'm okay with that move by OG. It's better to disengage there than get over aggressive, lose heroes. Even an even trade at this point for OG is pretty bad. Like, they can't afford to lose heroes when they're this far up.
Yeah, it feels like OG they don't really need to take the risk at the moment.
He's gonna find NoTail here.
That Shadow Blade opening, jabs straight in with the Echo to make sure they have that instant lockdown and control. NoTail will get taken down.
Very nice pick.
No hesitation from Mineski there to just drop everything down onto the Monkey King.
And the last time they did it, OG didn't really take advantage of that. And even these single pickoffs lead to such a gold swing for them. As No Tail's decision to go for the Lincolns, it's alright against the Dragonite. And it stops the glimpse. But even so, Earthshaker's like one of the best heroes against that sort of AoE. In that he doesn't really care about it at all.
I mean, and this thing as well, it's No Tail getting caught out time and time again, but we're still in the game where Rezo is 4-0-5. They've been unable to pick the Shadow Fiend at all, and he has got that Silver Edge complete as well now.
SF's such a fast hero in this game. I think he's really scary to play against in that regard. If you don't get the immediate stun and you don't burst him, then he just gets BKB off and he runs around at max boost speed. But they're gonna grab the last outer tower of the game. Doesn't look like OG are in a position quite to defend.
Unless you get an objective, Rezo and Jerax will smoke up. See if they can catch any of the members of Mineski, but Mineski, they're playing it smart, they're playing it safe. They take the tower, they retreat. See if they can catch anything in OG. Resolution just sweeping through the jungle. Mineski on the high ground. You have to be careful, OG, how they go in there. It's about, oh, Rezo, he is looking for the courier, and he has found the courier.
Nice pickoff. He is behind 4 heroes with the BKB. He feels incredibly confident. They're going to glimpse him back here.
Oh, and he did. And now I'll put the BKB. Didn't pop it straight away to break the glimpse back. Should still be fine, though. There's no detection on the front lines. But for that, Fly will pay of his life. Just get left behind and surrounded.
That was...
Rezo maybe looking back, and Fly certainly was saying, should have popped the BKB dude to stop the glimpse. But I guess Rezo, I don't know, maybe thought they could take the fight?
Yeah, but their main form of control wasn't there either. That just felt really... That felt odd. And they might even get this kill here. Rezo's going to pop...
Just gotta be careful.
Shadow Blade and run around. The thing is, when you're this far ahead and you lose support kills, it's significant. It's you actually get an okay amount of gold. It's not like when you're ahead and you get like 100 gold per support kill or anything like that. That's going to slow down some momentum here. And Mineski, they need just one really big fight. If they get one decent wipe, they're not completely out of this game by any means. As Mushi, he's invised up.
The shards.
Yeah, he's going to get spotted here. But he's got a BKB now. I could see a realm of possibility in which Mineski catch out OG getting over-aggressive and winning a fight.
Let's see. No tell. With the lead in onto Mushi. They've got the coil as well, holding him in the Wukos command, but the BKB's pop. Gets himself just outside of the Monkey King ult. As Mushi will be able to wait for the shards to wear off, and will be able to walk himself out of there. Now they'll continue the chase. On the back lines, Rezo just solos this Shaker who, you know, Jabs panic, Echo Slam there. It did absolutely nothing, as that will be both Jabs and Mushi hitting the sidelines. After OG, they that time round are very sort of calculated about going for the fight. They wait out the BKB, then they know it's safe to dive the DK. There's very little Mineski can do to peel them off their Dragonite.
Hey, technically didn't do anything. Or it didn't do nothing. OG's gonna go high ground with that, Owen.
Oh, no, it's out. Looking towards Ninja Boogie. GA will come out. Find some safety for Ninja Boogie. Another Shards does hold him in place. Rezo trying to get himself back away from Moon. S4 jumps in to finish off the kill on the Disruptor. They'll look towards this tier 3 tower. Fortification comes out from Mineski. They will have the Shaker back up, but no Echo Slam. Rolling from Jerax on towards Ice. The War's Punch setting up with the Maledict. The Rays will fly in. S4 jumps forward as well as the Boundless Strike. This is going to be an Omni Knight popping pretty low note. The Repel and Purification comes out in time. Ice keeps himself alive. No Tail's found him on the wrong side of the base. No Tail will be punished. So Mineski are able to get at least a core kill out of this, but they do lose their tier 3 tower.
Yeah, it's going to open up the shrines, make things a little bit easier. The next time OG decide to go for any kind of high ground assault, for OG the next move is most likely to just wait for the next Roshan. Mineski, try to prevent that. You have to take a fight around those terms. Killing the Shadow Fiend twice seems like a tall task.
Yeah, they can't kill Rezo at the moment. And look at Rezo's items as well. He's got 3,700 saving up. He's going for the Nullify next.
It's going to be sick against all those heroes. Is Rezo going to walk into them. They're going to scan here. He's baiting out this bounty rune, daring Mushi to go for it, but he's going to pick it up himself with the Shadow Blade down. Going to throw out a warning race to Mushi, who's going to backpedal.
So one of the Definitely one of those the earlier nullifier timings we've seen on an SF. Not really the item always picked, but I mean, as you said, for many reasons, very nice to be having that this game. Sort of dispel on the GA and the item shutting down these items on these heroes like Mushi, who obviously has the BKB, these sort of annoying yules as well that you have to play around.
But doesn't have quite the backup yet. Does everybody now?
Frezzo can get in.
Around. Who's faster?
Inspire Shrine, and there's a lot of Mineski here. I think OG realized this is not a fight for them to take.
They would throw the king right there.
We've seen
You
it
don't.
before.
You're in a really good position right now if you're OG. You don't have to make any of these risky maneuvers. Your game is not dependent on that at all. Going for the Roshan as an objective is the safest thing to do. They're gonna check it out. S4 even gonna complete the orb. They're all gonna come around this pit. They don't do it very quickly though, so I think they want to take a fight first, and they're going to.
S4, he jumps in immediately. They do have the coil down. Wukong's command is out. No tail. Look at the walls. This disrupted, but the shrine heals popped by Mineski. Topping them back up. There's a sentry down as well. So Rezo unlikely to get any sort of surprise jump in on them with the SF. Mineski retreat. They back up. They
should
go
fight.
for the smoke. They want to get back in. They know that there's no coil. They know that there's no Wukong's command.
And S4 and Jarek's gonna run in there.
Jerax. The snowball is going straight into the midst of them all. They'll turn and they'll take the touch. The rest of OG just get out of there.
And now they know that DK farm has been popped. If you're Mineski, you really wanted more than that.
The nullifier's just been complete. So I think it's very important for Resolution to sort of get a fight where Mineski don't know that there's the nullifier. So there is that chance that he can sort of get it cast onto Mushi before Mushi is able to react to the projectile and press BKB. If he can get that nullifier hit onto him first, that is going to make the fight so much easier for OG as a whole.
And if he gets like a Bloodthorn after, he'll have the Son of Doom.
The Son of Doom. I mean, do you think he will? What's he got queued up at the moment? He's got the butterfly. But I guess down the line, we could see him, you know, swap. He's obviously going to swap the Aquila and drums out for the butterfly and then one of them out for another item. Silence and the nullifier is a pretty potent combo.
I was telling people about that the other day.
The what?
Your Son of Doom build.
I mean, that's the name of it, isn't it? That's what all the hip kids are using and all the pros are saying.
I don't think any of the hip, cool kids are saying the Son of Doom
You know,
build.
Kuro's in there going, right, boys, time to whip out the Son of Doom. And then Miracle's like, yes, boss. That's how it goes down.
Is that exactly?
I mean,
how
what
it
else
goes?
do you call it? Nullifier and Bloodthorn, honestly.
Son of
That's
Doom.
way too many syllables.
What hero were you when we were playing it? You're like
Life
Lifestealer? I like that.
I want to see a Lifestealer do it. Actually, I think I have. Someone did do it recently. I lost the game.
Okay.
There we go. Smoke up from OG. Mineski, though, they're playing a lot smarter now, Mineski. They have
Yes.
been able to slow down the pace that OG was playing.
They're not letting the Roshan happen,
No.
which is what we said was the key. And they've got a ward down here. Ishard's gonna fly onto the high ground when the smoke gets broken, but they're being very smart right now. They're being patient. They're not down to racks or anything.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see sort of on the net worth, it's what, between the 8 and the 16-minute mark, it really shot up, and then it's just pretty much stayed at this level.
Yeah.
OG have been unable to increase the lead that they've had. Sure, Mineski haven't been able to turn it around, but just keeping it at this level, that's great news for Mineski, to just slow down what OG were able to force at the start.
Feels like I haven't seen very many exorcisms this game. I think that spell is so powerful, especially it's not super item dependent, right? It's gonna deal the damage it's gonna deal. And she's quite tanky. She's got a lot of armor items, a Yule Scepter. It's not easy to bring down this Death Prophet backed up by the Omni Knight. So there is a very real possibility that she could go insane. It would require OG to kind of mess up a little bit, but we haven't seen them on quite their A form yet. They've made smarter decisions this game. Like their decision not to dive at bottom, I thought was really intelligent.
Back around the pit, there's just constant focus from both teams. I mean, now that they are, you know, OG's trying to make the most out of it rather than having the full 5-man there. They've got S4 pressuring in the bottom lane, No-Tail pressuring in the top. So trying to sort of pull Mineski apart and away from the pit. And with that, they'll lose their bottom tier 2 tower, Mineski. Top lane, No-Tail, jumping in, jumping out. Got the Shiva's guard there for the vision, but No-Tail keeps himself just out of the range of the vision granted by it.
They're gonna rock into Roshan during this time period.
Mineski, they are heading over.
They've shards them out though. Where's the
Can they get it?
They're going to get the glimpse.
They are. Fly sort of tanking the attention though at the moment as OG get the space to finish off Roche. You saw that as well. Resolution, he was not messing around. Pops the BKB just in case an Echo Slam play was attempted. Notel on the side, gets the Wukong's command down. Will force out the GA in fact from Maneski. As Maneski do get both supports, but OG will be fine with that. They got themselves in, they get themselves the Aegis and the cheese, they get all of their cores out of there, and GA was burned.
Yeah. I think you just wait for your 2 supports. They'll be up in 40 seconds. You can go take a fight if you feel.
Both Aegis and cheese, of course, at the moment on Resolution's Shadow Fiend.
Not the worst thing in the world, though, for Maneski. They got something out of that.
See what they can do here. I mean, as you say, the supports are down, but very hard still for Maneski to get objectives out of this little window. They need to hope for another big sort of play like that. They do have those ghosts up, as you say. We've just really seen Maneski sort of struggle to get Moon.
Rezo.
He's found some action, but Maneski is there with backup. They get the coil snap
Oh, the
on
break
the
was
DK,
there.
and indeed, with that nullifier coil, there was just no chance. No BKB, no Shadow Blade, no escape for Mushi. He's now down for 70 seconds. No tail moving in with the BKB. Will be able to punch down Ninja Boogie.
That's an exorcism.
They'll just look to kite it out, backing themselves up. OG get themselves away from Moon. Rezo even thinking about actually going back in under the cover of Invis. But they have to be careful, Maneski. They have to be ready to sort of preemptively pop BKBs at any
trying to
sort of
Son of
shadow
Doom him.
fight. He's looking at it. And that nullifier pickup from Rezo, getting that crucial kill on DK.
They're just going to wait this out and go high ground. This is the downside of exorcism popping it defensively, is if the team sees that and you panic, use it too soon, this is exactly what happens. They'll just wait it out. Your death prophet without exorcism, it is one of the better abilities when you're this far behind because independently it deals a lot of damage, but when you use it off cooldown like that, you don't provide much more in team fights.
Looking forward, looking to start things off. Rezo on the side, actually popping a BKB. Standing his ground, wanting these objectives, trying to get them as quick as he can before the jump backs in from the DK and S4. Goes in, gets the 2-man coil. Straight away, they focus Moon. That's the Death Prophet down for 70 seconds. No tail. With the BKB and the Wukong's command, forcing Maneski to back up. They'll find the Shaker kill. Mushi looking to lead in onto this Shadow Fiend. Resolution getting bought low, but he has the Aegis. He's going to be here for a second time round. S4 jumps in with the 3-man silence. The BKB comes out from Mushi. Dragon Tail again, holding down Rezo. He's got that boosted armor, though. The Snowball from Jarek's buying time as they'll drag Rezo deeper in. He's ready to try and fight back here. Looking for the raises. Boundless Strike comes out onto 3. The GA's out, though, from Maneski as they look to turn. They've managed to find the Shadow Fiend. Can they get more out of this? Ice and Moon chasing down Notel. Paralyzing cast from Fly. Holds the 2 of them back, but the Siphon Slow is there. They surround Notel. He pops the cheese. He does have the Jingu build up, but he just doesn't have the lifesteal to sustain against these 2. He's going to try his best, but with 3 heroes surrounding him, the silence coming through as well, making sure that the Boundless Strike can't come out. They'll lose 3 heroes on OG. Maneski able to punish OG for that play. They do keep the melee racks alive. Maneski showing us that they still have quite a fight in them.
Yeah, the team fight is still there, and Rezo popped his BKB early to try to secure that tower. But once that happened, the Aegis at that point felt very useless. Didn't really have a follow-up to that, as Maneski had saved the rest of their BKBs. Unfortunately, they're still not getting their major abilities off, but that was a very important hold for them.
There was a few heroes as well that got low in that fight, and I'm looking at S4. He's not really spending any of his gold. So I guess is he still sort of contemplating, can he go for the Dagon, or does he maybe need a sheep stick? But that was a lot of gold that he had in that fight that wasn't being utilized because he's yet to buy an item.
Yeah, it's not like you have to save for buyback at this point either, because you're so far ahead. I don't know if you imagine a world where your team gets wiped.
I mean, what do you think he's going through his mind? What's he sort of? Is he just going to get?
I think you get Dagon and you just
he still gets
supports.
Dagon. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so he does go and, I mean, you know, it looks pretty cool to turn up to the shop and buy a straight up level 5 Dagon, but there was no Dagon whatsoever in that last fight, and could have maybe been a.
He would have at least killed the Disruptor, though.
Yeah. But he's got the level 5 one now, so this could certainly change things back for the better for OG. Sure, still overall, it is that 10k lead that they do still have. But it's just the fact that Maneski is showing us that despite that lead on OG, they can still take the team fights and they can still form together a defense that keeps that melee racks alive down bottom.
If you're Rezo, you can wait for your level 25. It's so powerful the 40% CDR. It makes your BKB come off cooldown so actively. We talked about it. How was it 0.4?
0.4 seconds of unavailability of downtime on the Silver Edge.
That's still pretty sick.
And of course, what, nullified down to less than a 10 seconds cooldown. It's a powerful skill to have. Notel keeping his eyes up top. Mineski grouping up down bottom. They've got the Ghost back online if they want to, as they look to knock down this tier 2 tower of OG.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Notel, interesting item build here. Going for the Daedalus on the Monkey King. I feel like that's not something that I see all the time on a Monkey King.
Yeah, it's not super common. It's a
'Cause
cheap
it-
item though.
Because it doesn't really benefit your Boundless Strike, does it? It doesn't really. I'm sure its flat damage is there
Yeah.
to help sort of boost it up, but obviously you're not critting on the crit.
It's cheap though, and I think it's better if there's no evasion on the side of Mineski
Sure.
Has fallen.
than MKB, for example.
Jump forward. Quick zap from S4. Tickling into Moon, but of course this Death Prophet now at this stage. Pretty tanky. Let's get that back up from Ice each and every time.
Butterfly completed now by Rezo.
Rezo still looking absolutely massive this game. Mineski, they will go for the smoke play to get some wards down out across the map. We'll see if they can catch out any members of OG. Close by at the moment. Notel, he's eyeing up that rune. But you can see him sort of sense. He's being careful. Throws out the stun, repels there onto Moon. Moon actually blinking and aggressively wanting to take this fight, then managed to find Fly with the Yule Scepter on the backlines. S4 gets the 3-man Dream Coil. Notel jumps in, goes for the Wukong's command, but the GA's out in response from Ice side. Static Storm is not going to hold Notel with that BKB up on him, so he walks himself out. No one actually dying as of yet.
Rezo?
Is looking to chase this down. The slam comes out on his way down, but Jabs will lose his life. Rezo getting focused. He's got the BKB and the Silver Edge, trying to walk himself out of there. Will be able to create the distance with the movement speed that he has. Just a 1-for-1 between the supports at the moment. Quick shards from Jarax to block Moon off with the Exorcism. Moon still moving forward, jumps himself across the icy wall. He's looking towards Jarax, and S4 has the Siphon slowdown. S4's already tapping himself out of there. Will go for the TP out. Jarax will get caught. So Mineski are able to take 2 and only lose 1 themselves.
I feel like they could have ran Jerix out as well. He decided to idle by, see if there was anything to do, but that exorcism lasts forever. You're not going to fight during that time period anyways. And now the game is a little bit scarier. The Omni Knight has a fully completed Aghanim Scepter, so his positioning game is...
He's massive.
Yeah. He doesn't have to worry about it so much. And this is what I was talking about, where I can see a way. It's not easy.
A fraction of a second too slow there. S4 unable to catch out Moon. Moon successful with the TP away. But that fight as well, we were watching to the side. Rezo, was he just unable to do anything?
He got stunned up.
Yeah.
Without getting his BKB off, he was isolated from the rest of his team. Became very awkward here as Bushi.
Oh, they do get the Nullify down, but the Static Storm's out in response. Big Daddy and Rezo popping their BKBs. But again, Mineski doing a good job of sort of kiting out these BKBs, waiting out to the sides.
I think Mineski, they're still really in the hole right now, but every successful engagement like that, like even forcing out 2 BKBs is not bad from them. Those BKBs are starting to get low. Monkey Kings is down to 6 seconds. The Shadow Fiend, not much better.
I mean, it's,
5.
you know, for S4 as well, like we've seen there, it was like, you know, Dagon, he's a level 5 Dagon that disrupts, but they're building fairly tanky, all the heroes of Mineski. Do you feel like something like a Sheepstick could have done more in this game?
Oh, Rezo. Gonna run in here. He's gonna get stunned up.
Oh, they have got the Dream Coil. They're looking towards the DP, but she has the Lotus Sword buff applied onto her. Mushi manning up.
Stunned up.
towards
He's gonna
Rezo.
go down.
Rezo's gone. They've got themselves Rezo. They've got themselves Fly. Double kill for Mushi. Now looking towards S4. He's silenced up. He's surrounded. They'll take 3. Oh, gee. They are letting this one slip away. Mineski are playing this later portion of the game incredibly tight. It's seeming like a bit of a switch around from game 1. This time around, OG with the blazing start, but now it's starting to slip away. Mineski, they'll move straight into the pit with 3 heroes down on OG. They should easily be able to get themselves. This is Aegis, Cheese, and Refresher shot.
Yeah. And you've got a Monkey King that his damage feels very lackluster at this point because he has 2 items. 2 of his major 3 items are entirely devoted to defense in the Lincolns and the BKB. And he's going to make his move. He's going to go for this Disruptor. Does get the kill and is going to get the TP out. But right now, when it comes to the major team fights, it feels like you can't really feel the contribution of this hero with so many of these defensive items. And it leaves it for Rezo to be in a position where he plays very aggressively as a result, but isn't able to do too much behind that. And now this Death Prophet is so incredibly strong. She's got a completed Octarine if she wants it, a Refresher Shard in the holster, a full cheese. It's not easy to burst her to begin with because of Ice's Omni GA. With the Aghanim Scepter, it makes it positionally impossible to miss.
Moon is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
This is quite the showing from Mineski with, as we said, their backs against this wall in this position where they're in this game down against OG. They are really pulling it together when it's needed the most.
And that's why we weren't really... The last one, I felt a little bit more comfortable calling for Mineski over this one even because OG's way of ending the game isn't really there. Like, they have 2 cores that can't really go high ground in the Monkey King and the Puck. The Shadow Fiend sure is strong, but not even level 25. Only a 5-second BKB. The Dragon Knight is scaling very nicely. The Death Prophet is incredibly strong in these engagements too.
Got a Shadow Blade on jabs as well. Make sure that you can find that prime positioning for the Echo Snaps.
They're gonna give the cheese or the refresher to Ice, further complicating things for OG. And I think you have to go the Son of Doom build now on the Shadow Fiend. It's the only way.
A full Aghanim Scepter for Ninja Boogie. These static zones going to be an absolute nightmare for OG if Ninja Boogie can find the placements.
This 8K lead is it's
a little
false.
deceptive.
Yeah,
because of the momentum.
It's not bad at all. Like OG, I don't think they feel like they're very in charge of this game.
No.
A lot of their net worth is tied into items that aren't doing anything for them right now. So I don't think they're too worried.
Oh, some Invis onto Invis action move. She able to find the open up. There's jabs coming in with the Echo Snap. Instant mute onto this Shaker. Shaker, he's going to be fine though.
down.
The buyback's going to be there from Fly, but they've lost that Monkey King. Mineski getting the jump that they hoped for.
S4's
S4
gonna get
as
caught
well
again?
being surrounded. That's 2 cores down. They do have buyback, and they're going to have to use it here with Mineski coming up, knocking onto the tier 3 towers of OG. The fortification comes through. This is looking pretty scary indeed here for OG. Mineski moving in with the Exorcism. In a game where OG's had the lead for oh so long, it is going to be OG themselves the ones to first lose at melee racks. It's Mineski. They have played this game so calculated on the side. They've found resolutions behind it all. They surround him. He pops the BKB.
He's
So
gonna
they're
go
punching
down.
him, chase him down. He's going to try and run away. He's very speedy. Found the strike will be there on the back now. S4 comes in with a 3-man Dream Core with the G8s out. It might not matter though. Jarek's able to get a double kill, but they've lost Rezo. Both Rezo and Notel buying back to be a part of this. And so far, they've only got 2 supports. They need to really find a core out of this, and they should do. They look towards Ice. He's got the purification. He's trying to play his way out, but he won't. Jarek's actually getting the triple kill out of that defense here on the Tusk.
And that was a gem.
It was a costly defense. The OG, they have to go and get something out of this, whether it be forcing a buyback out of Ice, because they've just lost the full set of racks mid. They have got the creep wave moving in top, so OG, they've got the position to do something straight up, and there's the buyback from Omni.
This is kind of if they commit to this, this is their GG push. Either they win or lose the game off of this. Rezo going in deep though. They know there's no gem on their side. Is Rezo gonna get stuck
He's
up?
gonna be found out straight away. Rezo needs help. The snowball for Jarek's comes in, buying some time. They go straight into Ice. But
If they get a kill, he doesn't have buyback.
That's gonna be Ice down, but Rezo as well. He'll fall. No tail trying to find the BKB. There'll be a buyback from Ninja Boogie. Jarek's and Fly. The cars, the Death Ward. Is doing so much here. Fly. He's brought Mushi so low. They'll pop the Aegis. No tail builds up the Jingu stacks onto Moon. Moon's so tanky though, and he has the Siphon. Moon Mushi jumps across with the Dragon Tail. That's going to be No Tail and Rezo down for 100 seconds. The rest of OG have to get out of there and have to hope that Mineski can't push down the lanes quick enough for the 100 seconds that they're without 2 at their cores.
They're shoving out all the lanes right now. Jarex and S4, they're in emergency mode. They understand with 2 cores down, it's very easy for Mineski to just march down.
I mean, they've got Exorcism, they've got the Dragon Form, they have those 2 big pushing tools. I don't know if OG can hold as just a 3-man.
Mushi running down to meet the rest of his team. This is going to be a 3-on-4 engagement. Even without Ice Ice Ice, this is going to be quite complicated for OG as Mushi moves forward.
Jarex is just trying to draw their attention away from the base. Moon will go for him, but Mushi indeed, he's got his sights set on victory. Straight up to the tier 4 jabs, comes in with the echo, he's managed to lock down S4 on the side, that's S4 down as well. 2 minutes, no puck. Mineski's Mushi goes in for the Witch Doctor kill. They're onto the base. This is going to be GG, game over for OG as Mineski get the equalizer here in this best of 3, standing now 1-1.
What a game. It's a cool series. As this time Mineski, there's a lot of relief.
I mean, that game, there was a point where it really looked like OG had it. Absolutely. That start that OG had, the farm that Resolution had on his hero, but it really felt sort of that awkward point where we had that bottom push where they didn't get the melee racks.
Yeah.
As we said, S4, he had 7k gold that he hadn't invested in anything. And then, as you say, some of that net worth lead was sort of faltered. There was the Dagon 5 purchase. I didn't feel like it did much in this game.
I think this game, it's really weird. I feel like OG are second-guessing too many things because they build up this advantage, and it's almost like they're playing too safe because they have thrown games, and especially in the last game, too, where it became a little bit tricky, I think they're like, okay, we need to be careful at all times. We need to be careful. When they went for that high ground attempt at bottom, and Rezo pops his BKB so early in anticipation of the fight.
Wow. What a game 2 with that, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to get more of it. Game 3 is coming up, as the series now stands 1-1 as Mineski win Game 2.
What a fantastic second game. Just unbelievable performance from Mineski, who have managed to bring us back to a 1-1 game, as Owen just said. We'll return back to our commentary team, of course, for games. Please get the thoughts from our panel members. We'll start with Fog. I don't know where to start with OG. It's the second time in this tournament they've thrown away what looked like an unassailable lead.
Yeah, man, I think it's just like Blitz was saying, though. They were looking like they got to a point where they're like, okay, we're comfortable, we have a good lead. And then, yeah, sure, they had a 12k gold lead, but in essence, they didn't really, because they actually had all the gold. They had like 4k on SF, 8 or 7.5k on the puck, and then a couple more thousand on the other heroes. So they actually were playing an even net worth game, and they dove the racks. Resolution using that BKB before the Aegis gets popped. They dove all the way in past the racks, too. You know that line that we talk about a bunch of times? They absolutely crossed it, and
that line is several lines past the...
That line that one was way past it, yeah, sure.
Most of the time, we're talking about the line in front of, like, the tier 3.
Yeah.
And then there's the line behind the tier 3.
It's this fight as well,
It's this one, yeah. Like, look how far he pushes up to try to claim that advantage. A buyback comes back from the Death Prophet, turns everything back around.
Rezo can look behind him and find, like, it's like a football field out there. There's just line after line after line that he shouldn't be crossing, and he still does.
I do think that the itemization by the Omni Knight was crucial this game, getting that Aghanims early on, because then in the fights, the Wukong command was completely countered, and a lot of in there, look, even the buildings too, everything gets fortification pretty much because of it over and over again, and just a couple overconfident plays. It seems like OG just kind of crumbled in a way, and Mineski took advantage of it.
I think Resolution is having a really rough tournament. He is still keeping his confidence. It seems like that play that they just had there takes a lot of confidence with no BKB to go for that kind of pickoff. So I guess you can give that to him, but it is turning into a lot of game losing for OG. The thing is, the way that OG set up their lineups is that they're based all around Resolution. They're giving him this farm. He cannot choke like that.
Yeah. Also credit Alan to Mineski as well for holding on here, because had this been the first game, when they pushed in like that, you'd probably have just typed GG because it was kind of over. I mean, because there's nothing to lose by staying in the game. They'd stayed in the game and they got back into the game.
This series has been the classic tale of we've got them right where they want us. I can't imagine. This is 3 games now that Mineski has been involved in where the team with just a huge lead
has lost.
No. I really want to amplify the point that Cap made a moment ago, because this had been a structural criticism that I had heard of OG behind the scenes, and I thought they had solved this issue in the recent hot streak. But if you look back to what they did with Ana, they would allow him to get pressured at the beginning of the game. They would farm up S4 and No Tail, and the two side lane cores would really create space for Ana in the mid game as he farmed back up. And by the end of the game, Ana was huge, and he was excellent at playing carefully and not dying. They're getting to a lot of the end games in these drafts where Rezo is out there to this big farm advantage, but he's overextending. And it's always an awkward, it's not necessarily on him entirely as a player. It's an awkward situation when you have this lead at 40 minutes, but you look up and most of your farm is on the core of your three that's easiest to kill. That Shadow Fiend was vulnerable given their lineup composition. And I have to think a little bit more about exactly what the solution is, but that's something that's plagued OG that's been talked about even going back several months.
We're effectively capped down to a best of one now.
Yeah.
Is that better for OG or better for Mineski? Doesn't really matter at this point.
I think it's pretty even, honestly, at this point. I mean, you could say something about the fact that Mineski are very clearly fired up. We heard them back here, a very loud yell from somebody.
Roaring.
It was I'm actually no idea who it was.
It's such a big game for that. That Dragon Knight pick, right? So we weren't talking at all about that Dragon Knight pick going into it because Mineski is not a team that usually deviates a lot from its comfort heroes on land. They hadn't picked the Dragon Knight since 4 months ago, and that was in the captain's draft qualifiers, not a captain's mode game. So that's not a hero that had been on their radar at all. Obviously one that had been doing really well in this tournament, but for them to pick a little bit outside their comfort zone and pull off a comeback like that, it's such a boost to their confidence as a team.
It actually beats out and carries when it comes to, if you look at that matchup, I think Dragon Knight, like, you have to feel super comfortable about it being matched up against the SF as well as the Monkey King. It's like between the two last picks, I thought Dragon Knight was far superior, and I thought Monkey King was a bit lackluster.
I think
I like
given how the game went, I don't think the DK that far behind in farm versus those two cores. I don't think the DK has a shot at that state of the game, if not for the Omni Knight.
Especially, when
the Omni Knight was the X factor to me.
Yeah. When they have Silver Edge and everything, he becomes a lot weaker. But I think OG, they made a lot of mistakes here. Mineski took advantage of them, and with those buybacks, they drew themselves that game.
I mean, it's not like any of these last picks. It's not like I was like, Dragon Knight, it beats all those heroes, right? There were 4 other heroes before it.
I can't help looking at OG and feeling like when, especially consistently throughout the season, when they've felt pressure and when they've been in big games, they've kind of tended to revert back to that play style that carried them for 5 major wins. And I mean, who could fault that? But that's not what the meta is right now. Okay. And that's not necessarily the team they have.
All right. Thank you very much, all gents. So we're going to get more from our 3 panel members. Of course, we'll be back very shortly after a break. And don't forget, there is the MVP, of course, this week, provided by Mercedes-Benz. Thank you so much for your support again of Dota 2 and providing the winner with a brand new Mercedes-Benz as well. You can take part in that. Things open at 10:30 CET local time tonight. The link is at the bottom of your screen. Do go and check it out. We thank you for your support on that one. We are going to take a break. When we come back, Game 3, the draft is coming next.
She was going to get aggressive and then would have looked for the chance.
No Tail.
Found him down bottom. With the field down, he is surrounded. He's trying to build up the Jingu stack so he can get some sort of lifesteal back in response. He might actually be able to do so here onto Jabs, and if he lands it down, that's going to be a lot of lifesteal. Does get it. Is it enough to keep him alive?
He's going to get the kill.
Yeah, it's enough to keep him alive long enough for the Jabs kill. He will still fall. They tried their best to stunlock him there so he couldn't get the boundless strike out, but they just didn't have quite enough control and damage.
Life is all about following a few simple rules. Dress proper. Get a real job. Start a family. Be humble. Time to grow up.
ultimately this trip could bring my career to the next level.
I'm not very worried about losing. I'm worried about missed opportunities.
I just scream and say yes twice.
You try your best, you feel good about yourself.
So what's really going to separate them is decision making and strategizing.
In 2045, there's nowhere left to go. Nowhere except the Oasis. It's a whole virtual universe where the limits of reality are your own imagination.
This is nothing less than a war for control of the future.
Are you willing to fight?
Help us save the Oasis.
ESL One Katowice is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, Alienware, PaySafeCard, Logitech G, and Hacks.
Welcome back to ESL One, presented by Intel, actually powered by Intel, presented by me and memed by Nahaz. We're back at the desk for game number 3 in our second series of the day. All to play for right now. I kind of hate these games for the players, because you know them and you know what they go through, and these things. Oh God, how did we throw that one away? OG, you're going to be thinking that. Menesky, on the other hand, are going this and going, we got this, guys.
We just
complete contrast, isn't it?
We just had two similar situations, right? First game, Menesky's like, man, we're 8K gold ahead. We got this. What just happened? We lost. Oh God. Now OG, we're 15K ahead. Let's go, guy. Wait, what? Oh, we just lost as well. So now flip side, whole new game, like you said, best of one.
It's really cool though, because the stage manager came over and he was like, "Is this going to be 2-0?" And I was like, "Yeah, probably." I mean, don't rule the other team out because it can, And he's like, "Oh, so it's not like League of Legends." And I was like, "Well." We get more back and forward, I guess. Because he's done a lot of leagues. So
Did you have to?
No. I'm just saying he's done a lot of league games, so that's what he understood. So he was kind of looking at it thinking, oh, this is they're going to win this 100%. And it just shows. It's another example of how wonderful the game is in terms of the mechanics and the setup, and because you just never know in this game anymore.
Yeah, our game is a lot more complex. Thanks, Paul.
It's a lot better.
I did not say that.
No, I understand what you were picking up. You
Don't
throw it down
turn
like that, I'll pick it up
turn
for you and
into something
translate it for
it's
the
not.
audience.
Yes,
Don't worry about
turn
it.
into something it's
Good
not.
job, Kev.
Yeah, it is just wonderful when it happens like that. Just have those games which you think, yeah, this is definitely going that way, and it actually goes the other way. Anyway, game number 3, draft upon us and bans incoming. What we expected, Cat?
No Naga Siren and no.
Tiny.
What is the problem with game 2? I don't think there really was a problem for game 2, to be honest. If I'm OG, I'm way more tilted about game 2 than Mineski should be about game 1.
Agreed.
It's way easier to look at this look at a single hero or a single factor in the Naga from game 1 than it is to pinpoint a single thing from game 2. I will go back to talking about something I mentioned after game 1, and that's anytime you can win with a single core strategy, but it's very little margin for error. And that felt like, despite the fact that S4's puck was quite farmed toward the end, outright purchasing the Dagon 5, that felt like a single core strategy.
The way they played around. The way that they played around, yeah. The way that the itemization from Monkey King, BKB Lincolns, and I mean the data list was weird. Hopefully I don't say it. I didn't really understand that one.
I think once you've gone both BKB and Lincolns as your first 2 items, and you have you want the 300 cast range talent on the tree dance.
Yep.
Right. Once you do that, there's no next item that's really great. I think.
But he's first Guardian Angel.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. Where he went pure physical.
But what do you build instead from there? It's like to me the game plan was, let's go those 2 items, let's create space, let's get a pick off and push high ground. I mean, there was no end game after that.
I don't like super harping on items because I don't think that game was lost because of item decisions so much in comparison to the one that they lost the other day with the Storm Spirit not going BKB early. This one I think was the play that
I agree
was the cause of them losing. So
I think that's totally fair.
So this time we see the Death Prophet taken out, so they are a little bit concerned, even though they punished the hell out of Moon in the laning phase. At the end of the day, the Death Prophet still did its job with exorcism.
Maybe a 4 or 5 ban on DK from OG, because I think that carry DK is absurd.
Or they take it themselves.
Or they take it themselves.
I mean, DK is looking like and looking Genji. Looks like the opposing
like
team
the
just have
hero
no
of the
answer.
tournament, doesn't it?
Yep.
Just starting to look that way.
Bane.
And right now,
so they left
that
the gyro.
DK
Oh God,
and,
yes.
And they left gyro this time. So the other time Mineski did ban out the gyro, but they take the Bane. So I was talking about this with Vici. Every time they've seen gyro picked up, Bane responds with Vici, and I think Mineski's doing similar. And they're setting up for the Mirana.
Yep. Finally get the priest of the moon using the priestess of the moon.
6-0 this year, and it's a great combo for them.
Yeah, just go back to the DK. 12 picks now at this particular tournament out of the 19 games. It's 75% from 12.
Huh.
9 out of 12 so far. Disruptor, by the way, also picked up 12 times, 33% win rate.
Nice.
Rubik 13, 61.5, and the most picked Gyro 14 with a 57.1% win rate so far. So those are the top 4. Outside of that, the Naga is tied with Sanking, Brew, Wish Doctor. Wish Doctor will just jump ahead of that now with the 10th pick so far.
Earth Spirit. All right. So last game, Tusk is a lot about, like we said, not really that team fight aspect. He's a lot about just dominating the lanes, making the moves. Sure, in some situations he can apply more to team fights, but Earth Spirit, that is full-blown team fight.
Yes.
This is what I was
full-blown Jirax.
Yes.
And Tusk tends to be more of a reactionary hero in team fights, whereas Earth Spirit, you're the ones initiating from long range.
And you can mess with these type of combos. You have Bane Mirana. You see the Mirana, they go for like some sleep. I mean, they can't even really do the sleep setups now in the middle of the fights. It's gonna be impossible because this Earth Spirit's starting the fights. However, it is Mineski's super comfort.
Yeah, so Brew's the first ban.
Yeah, Brew, and then they might
OD
still ban
was the
OD.
one. Yeah, was
they
the one
might
last
still
game.
just take out the OD.
I actually would. So against any other team, I'd maybe dispute that. But again, Mineski's, to me, the lineups where they've looked good, it's been 2 of their 3 cores on traditional mid. So Mirana and OD is a combo that they actually have run together.
5 seconds remaining.
What else were the combo heroes? I'm trying to remember from Starladder because I remember they ran this one and I was like, it was the Brew, it was the Naga, but they also had something else. I feel like they had for like the setup. They had something like I think it was the Sanking, so that one is the one that's taken out early on. But I like the Lycan ban a lot from Mineski. I think that's a hero that just Mirana can't do too much because you can't even set up your own arrows with the Bane anymore because there's wolves.
Did they do an
boats
ET
all over.
Mirana? Maybe that was.
I feel like Mineski's not an ET team. They're more of having Ninja Boogie on this Night Stalker, Bane, jabs on Clockwork or Sand King or something like that. Not the Clockwork so much anymore, but.
Yeah, but Lycan, I think, is a great band for exactly the reasons you said. He's a hero that No Tail can do his job with, can create a lot of space with, and doesn't require the kind of farm that Monkey King does to sustain his presence as the game goes on.
That's a tie ban, right?
Yes, yes, and that's.
Well,
I'll tell you what they do like. I'll tell you what they do like pairing the Mirana with.
Jakiro. Yeah.
But yeah, usually have Naga with that too, right?
Yes, yes. They've Naga Jakiro has been their first phase. Yeah.
They also like playing Nyx with it as well.
Oh, that's the other one. It's Nyx. That's the other one.
That's the one you were thinking about.
Yeah, that's the other one. I was thinking Sand King because they do like a similar thing, but it's the Nyx.
Well, Nyx is like the other like super SEA staple.
Yeah.
For like the last year, he's been picked in SEA.
And it's all about those pickoffs too.
Yeah.
It's like,
and then if you want to go back a bit further and get a bit more crazy, the Magnus.
Oh God, yes.
It's the other thing they used to do a lot with the Mirana.
The Ice Magnus, yeah.
That's
crazy. All right, so they love that Earthshaker.
They do, don't they? Not many players like it.
I really questioned that pick, but
I think they got. I thought that in the laning phase they got run over last game because the Shaker is just a walking fissure.
Yeah, he's gonna play behind the DP, but he doesn't do anything.
Did you see No Tail's reaction right there? He was like, "Wait, Earthshaker? Like, what? Really?"
They must have a strong belief in this Earthshaker versus Tusk versus Earth Spirit idea.
Jabs loves that hero.
I mean, that's been, interestingly, that's been Jabs' thing. When Mineski's looked good, it's because Jabs has made these heroes work in the 4 position that have just looked like garbage for most other teams. Like in the fall, it was Clockwork. Clockwork was like 25% win rate in pro games, and Jabs was sitting there at like 12-2 at one point. And it gets in your head because the 4 position for most teams is so concentrated. Yeah. You get used to playing against that same set of heroes.
So does Moon always go with the Aghanims first on the Mirana, right? And then he doubles back for right-click damage.
I believe
feel like
that's true.
I feel like he always goes the Aghanims.
They drafted Puck last time against Earthshaker and Disruptor. This time I would argue it's a better hero than it was last game.
Radiant team pick.
Well,
yeah, looking back at his last few games, it's
Visage destroys Mirana mid, I think.
This is and it's so for whatever reason, right? Visage is that hero that doesn't get picked very often, but when it's run in a core position, the win rate is insane. It's like 14-6 since this year in pros, and it's also got 60% win rate. It's right up there with Lycan in 5K plus pubs, and it's almost exclusively core in pubs now too.
Quick pick PL.
Yeah, you only have Earth Spirit.
Okay.
PL.
Here you go.
This is Visage is. This TV is now going to be used as this big core, and Visage is a distraction.
Yep.
I understand why you made that comment. I don't even necessarily agree with it though, because I think Visage can still kill towers. Even if the TB is getting most of the farm, Visage is more than a distraction. He can still threaten objectives.
I'll rephrase then. He's the game winner.
Well,
he's the one to win the game.
Exactly. But that's the thing though. So I'm not just picking Nit to pick Nit there. Like,
no, it's fine. It's good.
No Tail's Monkey King in the last game, he was the distraction hero, but he couldn't really do anything on his own. He couldn't threaten objectives on his own. This Visage is going to be able to give you that split push presence.
And I like No Tail on micro heroes.
Oh, absolutely. And all of these drafts though have been so close to me. I really have not. Both games have kind of been a coin flip.
Yeah. I see Earthshaker and I'm always, even after that last game, he suffered so much in the laning phase.
Just for funsies, and because I know you like stats, Mineski, I've only ever lost 2 Mirana games since the DPC began.
Yeah, and the thing is, the stats don't even tell the full story there. Because
do you know who they lost to though?
Who?
In both occasions, it was Fnatic.
Of course, they're the only team that honestly.
The only team that found the beatability of Mirana, and even then they've been beaten a few times by it as well.
Mineski shows up at these lands, and they are running strats that none of the other teams have seen before. And you can scout and watch the replays, but it's just not the same thing.
yeah, Dota Summit and Dream League, Fnatic both won their matches where Mirana was featured in some form.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. I remember one of those, the Silencer one, where they first.
And then you have to go all the way back to Team Liquid beating them at the Star Ladder Invitational back in October for their other defeat.
They banned Underlord.
Okay.
That catch.
Yeah, the catch and just the
Pushing
global
out.
split push presence.
Yeah,
on
pushing
top
out lanes, because right now OG they are lacking that pushing out lanes so that the TB can farm.
So what? Okay, an OG.
They
That
win,
I was just
and
about
they
to talk
take
about Timbersaw, and there's your. All right. S4 DK.
That's what it looks like.
No tail. Yep.
No tail visage.
So Visage Regio TV. I like it.
What's the solution from Mineski? What's the Daryl hero?
I mean, they.
Not even
I guess
Daryl
they
knows
could
that.
go Monkey King again.
Not even Daryl knows.
That Monkey King, I think, versus Earth Spirit and Visage is hard.
Yeah.
The trees,
I agree.
you get spotted, your trees get knocked down all the time.
There are no longer heroes that stand in front of towers for you against this turret blade, so
bad.
maybe the split push of like a beast.
I guess.
What about something nuts like Enchantress?
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
I guess this could be your Enchantress game, although again, that's super dicey.
I don't like their team fight if they do that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, got nothing really.
There's your Enigma. All right. Well,
We'll have
plus
some of that. Don't mind an Enigma game from time
they
to time,
have
do we?
if this Enigma gets
That brings
gets his
together.
BKB up,
Yeah, that brings
and they have absolutely nothing to stop BKB Black Hole.
And they've got Bane Mirana, they've got Moon on Mirana.
It's a pretty slow lineup though, because you have Enigma and PL. You're relying on the Mirana to be able to create a lot of space for both those heroes, but you don't have the best playmaking supports.
Okay, Alan, which way for the final game?
He starts again. He started all 3 times.
Fogged, which way? For the
Wait,
final
what
game?
about me? How come the middle doesn't count?
Which
OG.
way for the final
I'm gonna go OG. Hey,
I
I'll
said
do
it first. You can't take the same team as me, Alan.
Okay, both OGs, and
I'm going OG. Jarex, Earth Spirit.
that was a lot easier than it needed to be, really. We made that quite complicated, didn't we? Two men that don't make things complicated and make beautiful joy for us as far as the Dota world are concerned. Are ready for Game 3, gents? How excited are you on a level of 0 to Nahaz?
I'm about over 10 times what Nahaz is at the moment because we've got an ice-sized Enigma and we've got a Big Daddy No-Tail
You've got the
Visage.
perfect. This is perfect for you guys, isn't it? Black hole galore.
Black holes, all the micros from No-Tail. It's going to be a very exciting
All right, have
game
fun,
for
boys.
Thank you very much, Red Iron. Indeed, I'm only picked some here with Blitz. We're getting ready for this Game 3 deciding matchup between these two teams. And what do we reckon? This last pick, Enigma, the panel's right. It's got a lot of strengths, this game.
That's really hype hero. I'm at a Mafia Nahaz level.
Oh, that's some pretty crazy emotional
That's-
stuff going on inside that head of yours, Will, with that. But it's this hero. There's the panel said no way to disable it once he gets the BKB online. They're going to have to be very careful with the way that they play. But at the same time, there's ways to obviously play around the Enigma and sort of force the pace before he's able to get that BKB.
Yeah. Also, TB is a sick hero in this game.
Yeah.
TB's reflection is so good against Phantom Lancer because it spawns the illusions and then they'll juxtapose on top of that and create their own illusions.
Yeah.
How does a ghost image create its own illusions? That's so stupid.
It's Dota 2. Don't question the physics. We'll be here all night.
Yeah, TB as an anti-core is so powerful. I think I brought it up like 4 times already, but I was reading some interview with Ramses where he felt that TB was kind of the perfect core.
Yeah.
Because he's very good early, very good late, very good mid-game. There's like an awkward pairing for like 3 or 4 minutes where he feels a little bit weak, but other than that, scales very cleanly.
Yeah, I mean, Reflection it's a bit of a ridiculous spell. Especially if you take that talent and, as you say, against certain cores, it's almost just questionable how good that spell is alone. It really can be crazy.
It's like when you play against SF, because you get the negative armor aura, and whenever SF tries to go high ground against TB, it feels impossible.
Let's see. So, Mineski versus OG this Game 3. We've seen a few ups and downs, both series having a bit of sort of the throws, the counter throws as it seems. This game, everything on the line between these two. Down bottom, get the cars, they're rolling onto Moon. It's got the first lead, it's got a couple more as well.
Did a lot of damage to him though. The recharge time on the leaps too are not very pleasant.
Well, as we we're gonna have. So at the moment, it looks like No-Tail and Jerax. They're gonna hang around this bottom lane as a duo up against that Bane Mirana combination. Mid lane, Mushi's going to be taking the PL there, and S4, a bit of the classic, returning to the mid lane for this game.
He's back.
DK there.
S4, we missed you.
Let's see how he does. I mean, PL versus DK, how's this one going to go?
I would imagine that DK does just fine. Because DK does just fine against every single matchup.
It's a pretty robust hero.
I haven't seen that hero lose yet, I think.
No, I think, yeah. I think you're absolutely right. There's very few heroes, it seems, in the game, if any, that can actually... They can just stop a DK from farming. He's always going to get that soul ring timing. He's always going to be able to spam the breathe fire.
How many games has he dropped at this tournament, though?
We got a stat man, haven't we? Stat man?
Yeah, what's DK at?
Give us some DK stats. We'll see how quick he's on that one. Bottom lane. And Jabugi. Maybe seeing if they can get a bit of a wrap round onto No-Tail. If they do get that Nightmare set up, they've got a lot of stun, but straight up No-Tail, he's aware of something's up, gets in the tree lines, TPs himself back to the tier 1 tower.
3 heroes down there, and the Mirana arrow. You don't chance that whatsoever as Jerax gonna get stunned up, but still manages to drag the entirety of the creep wave.
And of course, the top lane, the last lane that we're really to mention, Ice. We'll see how he does here as he looks to put the pressure onto both Rezo and Fly on this off lane Enigma. So far, let's get a few CS out of this lane, so it looks to be a strong start for the solo lane Enigma. Down bottom, Jerax being run down a little bit, has got the attempt here to TP out and will make it. Ninja Boogie could not quite find the range there for that level 1 Nightmare.
Yeah, that was actually really close though. Thought for a second that he was going to go down, but gets out with no issue as No-Tail going to get a few hits onto him. They're trying to stop him from getting to the rest of the creep wave, but he's going to get slept up. The arrow is going to land as well. They've got a fissure follow-up if they need it.
They've got a lot of lockdown here, Maneski, and it should indeed be enough. Ninja Boogie claims first blood with that brain cell. This is the one thing that OG have to be very scared about. The lockdown from Maneski is absolutely incredible in this laning stage.
Very nice, easy pickup for them. So now in this mid lane, Venom Lancer gonna hit S4 a few times.
Another
The
fissure. Jabs indeed with this movement. Setting up for Mushi to close the gap. Can't quite finish off S4 though. The DK just that little bit too tanky with the 2 points to the Dragon's Blood. Has the Salve ready to go as well to get him back up to full health.
Did he cancel the Salve with the Phantom Rush? I think that's what happened. Nope.
Nah, he's still got it. I think he certainly may have attempted to do so. CS-wise at the moment, 14 for 5, 13 for 3. Very even, of course, between these two. And we, as we said, may start to see S4 being able to force Mushi back a bit more once he has the Soul Ring out and can keep at that breathe fire spam.
And this is why TV, especially when it comes to the early game against non-dual lanes, is very powerful. Because you just pop meta. No offlaner can really contest you as Jerax gonna get stunned up.
Yeah, he rolled into this one, so hasn't really got a way of getting out. Will just be able to get himself under the tower though. Still, the attempt from this level 1 Earth Spirit struggling as Jabs this time around on the Shaker having a much better opening with those 2 Fissure plays that he's come out with on each lane.
He's got better heroes to kill this time around. In the previous game, it felt like he didn't really have any sort of movement that really made sense. But this game can afford to be very active as I think he's got the bottle from his Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, it's holding Mushi's bottle at the moment.
Yeah, he thought he was going to go get the rune for him, but Mushi actually would have gotten the rune himself, and it would have been a regen. So he would have had a full bottle on top of that, but just his luck.
See Jerax eyeing up a play. Does just hang around, get himself to level 2 on the Earth Spirit. Still so far in these lanes, the biggest difference really being that the offlaners. You know, No-Tail obviously on his own down bottom. He's struggling to get CS. He's having to play it very, very scared in the tree line. Whilst top lane, Ice, he's been able to hit a good few creeps up there. He's got 19 for 8 CS at the moment on the Enigma.
Yeah, that's just how that hero works, really. That's Ninja Boogie.
Got the arrow. Do they have the damage, though? With Jerax back up, there is no chance of focusing No-Tail. So nothing more than just holding him to the side.
No-Tail with what, like the 202 build? What are you supposed to do about that? It's a lot of tankiness, and I I think instead of going for the nuke, he recognizes he needs to tank up. This is a lane that he's not going to see a lot of help in. He's more or less being stacked. It's really no surprise as well that the Enigma is doing as good as he is, because he's almost always just going to keep denying the range creep and pull the wave back, which will allow Ice 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 to get the creep here and there.
Mushi will back up Sao and Shrine up here before Mushi returns to that middle lane. S4 being allowed to get a little bit of an advantage now with the space there mid, as he does lead just slightly against Mushi in this 1v1. Bottom lane, Moon is being hunted. Jax looking for the connection with the roll. First leap comes out, there's the second. Still has one more leap left, and that's enough to get Moon back to safety. A bit of a tricky kill there for OG to find. Maybe when the level 3's there on the Jax sprint, they do have the silence as well, but until that point, the leaps are always going to be there.
Yeah, no sort of follow-up in that situation. That's okay, though. It's Resolution. Gonna pop an illusion and gets fissured up. Not a whole lot of follow-up here, though.
So true. They have got the Bane here. Ideally, they want that level 6 on the Enigma, or they can do something. Bottom lane, they're all in. Looking for Moon. Moon actually able to turn, get the kill on Jerax. He should pop the balance. Actually, with this TP play, he's actually going to survive it. So somehow, OG, they throw 3 heroes in. They don't get the kill down bottom, and they lose one themselves. Same time up top, Mineski will lose the Enigma as OG get themselves forward. Jabs does indeed hold them back. He's got a TP. He's going to try for it, but bam. Boulder smash from Jerax on point. Jabs will be held behind. And OG may have lost the trade down bottom, but they'll come top and they'll get 2 kills from OG.
Very nice sequence of events for both teams, as the offlaner is claimed, but Moon getting a solo kill in a 3-on-1 situation is obviously going to please them. But at the same time, that somehow led to the sequence of events where Jerax respawns in time and goes top and gets the kill onto the Earthshaker.
That's crazy there. The last time we saw S4 on his Dragon Knight was back in December of 2016. That was a long, long time ago. Bottom lane.
Barely catches him on the blue.
But he does. Ice with the straight walk up and black hole play to cut down DOTA.
We're quite pleased with his teammate there, as now he's rotated up to top. Gonna try to harass this Terrorblade up. This is the time period where he's vulnerable. Trying to take advantage of that timing. S4 completes his shreds. He's still doing fine when it comes to the CS department, as at bottom. Gonna get slowed down a little bit, but...
Oh, S4 trying to stop Mushi from getting that double damage, but he will not be successful. Double damage is there on Mushi, so now they'll turn. Look for a bit of a chase down onto S4. He's got the Breathe Fire. Reducing the damage. Mushi still jumping down, but Jerax is there from the high ground. Jumps in. Mushi in trouble. He's going to be the one to get taken down, as Jerax allows S4 to turn and punish Mushi for getting a little aggressive there with that double damage ring.
That's 2 points of Dragon's Blood on the Dragon Knight, and the PL simply just does not do enough damage, especially when he gets hit by that Breathe Fire, as in mid lane. They're trying to set up for this. Very nice fissure. Jerax, though, going to get the double kick.
Oh, they did get the Nightmare off before, though. The Starstone from Moon, they bring S4 down low. Nightmare is not needed there, so it was first used. They go for the arrow play. S4 tries for the deny. Won't make it, though. They get the kill. Same time down bottom. Fly takes down Ice Ice Ice. Ice 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 takes down Fly with the Eidolons from the grave. A 1-for-1 trade between the two of them. So all in all, 9 minutes in. Very even between these two sides.
Yeah. No one garnering too big of an advantage. Of course, for Mineski, their win condition is clear. Get farmed up. Your BKB plus Blink Dagger Enigma is unquestioned in this game. Ice 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 has had a very nice series for himself. All he really needs to do is get that item timing down. He's going to go for the Midas.
Do you think Midas into BKB, or will he get the Blink first?
I think he likely gets the Blink first. If he wants to, he could just go for something like a casual pipe in this game, but I think having that condition where there's nothing on the side of OG that can stop that is so beneficial to you. It makes it so that TB can't really do anything.
Smoke up from OG. Mineski is here, though. Smoke on smoke getting dispelled. Mineski sort of dancing around the side of it all. Ninja Boogie in trouble. Cast coming out immediately. He'll turn with the Brain Sap and the Nightmare. With the Maledict's already on him. Jabugi will fall. Same time down bottom. Mushi trying to move it onto Notel. Notel able to boost himself out, keep the distance. The bird's out a little too hard for Mushi to go for that sort of solo play. S4 with that Invis room. Has eyes onto Moon in the middle lane.
Oh, he's going Ags. I like that a lot.
With the Dragon Tail onto Moon. Thinking about going back in with the Moonlight. We'll pop it, but a sentry is down. The trap is set. Fly reveals that they know straight away. They go in. Silences out onto Moon, but the Fisher from Jabs will put OG back from diving in for more. Now with the Malefice, Ice, chasing down S4 with these Eidolons, beating down onto DK. Oh, it's a fluffed black hole there. As he pops it down, doesn't catch anyone and immediately cancels it. Maybe hoping that he could have caught OG on the tip there, but overestimating the radius of the hole.
Ooh, that is a rough miss at bottom. No Doppelwalk.
Oh, Jerax.
This is
actually off the mark there with his boulder smash. They'll still try and give Mushi the rundown, but Mushi, he's looking to turn towards Notel. Look at the Fisher coming in onto 2. Mushi jumping forward. Jerax and Notel hiding in the trees. Jerax will roll himself away across the cliffs. Will be fine, and Notel also actually able to get out of there. So despite that looking like it was going to go south pretty quickly for OG, they do manage to get everyone away from that turnaround when Eski tried to pull off.
That would have been a kill though, and I think that's why Jerax apologizes to his team, says my bad.
Mushi now. S4 is being watched by the birds. One stun will come through. Nightmare to hold back the other. Familiar for getting the drop off.
They want to defend this tower. They successfully do so. There's no black hole now on the side of Mineski, so things are slowed down even further. I do like the fact that Ice isn't hesitating though, OD. It feels as though he's just going for it.
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah, every time that black hole's there, he goes for an attempt so far. But as we've seen, it's literally been hit or miss so far. Bottom lane. Arrow out to S4, but S4 stands his ground with the push of Notel and his familiars. This tier 1 tower does not stand a chance. OG able to take the tower off the map. They've got a lot of push, as the panel was saying, between the Visage and the Terrorblade. Of course, whilst this is all happening, lots of space being given for Rezos. Top net worth at the moment, and that's only going to continue with this sort of pressure that the rest of his team's putting on elsewhere. Jerax, though, walks into a Bane. It's being found out by the Fiend script. As Moon will claim the kill. The rest of OG still around. They'll look for the cast bounces. Won't quite be there as Moon pulls off the Delta split with a quick lead. Familiars, though, finding Ninja Boogie. They do have the Moonlight. Ninja Boogie keeping himself out of range, but the sentry's been dropped down by Fly. Just as well to make sure they've got the full vision for this fight. OG will find one. They're looking for Moon as well. Cast bounce is coming through. Resolution's there with the wraparound. Metamorphosis and Reflection rips through the Mirana. So OG taking a bold fight there into the Moonlight Shadow. They had the detection prepared, and they also had Resolution in the neighborhood to join for the fight and now turn that successful team fight into a very early tier 2 tower push.
Very nice sequence of events as they get some very pivotal pickoffs. Terrorblade once again in this position, but Resolution, we've seen him in these positions before where they devote so much farm to him, and it feels, especially in this tournament, that he hasn't been able to do so much with it.
Sure.
Almost feels like he's playing a little bit anxiously. In this game though, he's going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting for them to win this one, because there's always the possibility that he just gets BKB Black Hold, and he's going to get dropped quite quickly. If you notice that Moon's going to go for a build that we rarely see, if ever, anymore. Hold that thought as Jerax going to come in. Misses the kick once again, though, and Mushi should be okay. But going for the Aghanim Scepter on the Mirana, not something we see often, but back in the past, it was the counter to Terrorblade to begin with, because you want to burst this hero and his illusions as fast as possible. The double Starstorm clears up a lot of that. And with the BKB Enigma, he should be in prime position to do so as
Top lane. Got the Fiend's grip into the arrow here. S4 falling low, and he will get taken down. The damage from the Midnight Pulse making it impossible for him to arm the toggle his way out of there. Quick sleep for Ninja Boogie to hold back Notel, as Mineski will be very happy with just disengaging after getting a free pick-off onto the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, now Jabs almost has his own completed Blink Dagger. Very even game so far, though, because even though OG have a very slight gold advantage, that comes in the form of towers.
Yeah.
And this Enigma is so scary. If you're
Absolutely.
OG, because it's just how do you mitigate the damage as he's going to go straight up for the BKB. Almost has it completed at this point. The team fight from OG. To deal with that as the arrow connects.
They find him in the trees
What
straight
an
up.
arrow.
They catch Rezo off. Rezo, he does have a something to play around with. He's not going to get the chance, though. Jabs just drops down the slam to make sure there is no Sunder opportunity.
Okay. Did they scan for that or something?
They probably, did they not see him enter into the tree line?
They just... Still. Good
Well,
guess.
yeah, heads up play there from Maneski.
Rezo thought, okay, fissure flew, I'm good.
Jabs is actually getting caught out in the same position as S4 sweeps down there. Jabs is out. So those big items there now done. Jabs with the Blink Dagger, 100 gold, and Ice will have his BKB. So those two items ready to do. If Jabs can get some sort of setup, just buying time for the BKB Enigma to move into position in these team fights, it's going to be absolutely huge. And as you say, very hard for OG to deal with when they're pushing as a group.
Normally when you're in this position, if you're OG and there wasn't an Enigma on the side, you'd feel very comfortable because you know that the core matchup is very positive for you when you're coming to play against the Phantom Lancer. Like, look at this. He just creates his own reflection. It's very easy to deal with the PL in this regard. But the downside, I guess, is when you have an Enigma that doesn't have any sort of cancel, you can almost always just go for the TB in every single one of these engagements. Like, if you land the black hole on the TB, there's not a whole lot that OG can do to back him up except wait to launch. So from that perspective, it's so incredibly awkward for them to play. So now he's gonna queue up the Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger completed on the Earthshaker, and yeah, I mean, it's just a waiting game right now for Maneski. They're like, we don't have to make any sort of moves. That's why OG feel pressure to do something right now.
They do smoke up, it gets dispelled. They know that there was someone on the low ground, but they're already gone. So OG, unlikely to catch someone there, especially with Maneski making their own movements themselves. They smoke up, Jabs, Ice, and Ninja Boogie. Where are they going to find some action? They'll see S4 poke his head out in the mid lane. In fact, OG, they're going for Roche. If Maneski head over straight away, they can certainly do something about this. This could be huge. All they need is the setup from Jabs. This is looking dangerous for OG. The Fisher comes out, but Ice doesn't want to walk in. Now he goes forward with the BKB. Looking for the opportunity. Black Hole comes out. He catches two, but the damage, the physical from Resolution is too much. It doesn't matter if there's a BKB on this Enigma when he's taking the full punches of this Terrorblade as they just get ripped apart. OG take the fight, take the Roshan, take the Aegis. He just has to get Rezo in these back holes. It's just...
That is his only job.
Yeah. That Terrorblade just shredded them.
Yeah. That's the only job that he has. If he gets Rezo, there's nothing else that OG can really do. The other thing, too, is he had the opportunity for the 4-man pull. He backs out, thinks about it for a second.
He didn't go straight in and fully commit with Jabs, did he? He's sort of and ahed about it. And now Jabs, he's in trouble as well. OG chased down the Shaker. Quick soul assumption nuke from Noto will finish him off.
That was a massive teamfight win. Boy, oh boy. They could not afford to make a move like that. That was the 10-second BKB. That's an Aegis too for OG. That is going to be their counter. The way to deal with the Enigma Black Hole is if Rezo has an Aegis every time, then he's going to feel much more comfortable about this. He'll just respawn and kill you anyways. That is a massive win from Maneski in a teamfight division.
Those ults, as we said, they're the Black Hole on a very long cooldown. They need to do big things with it. Ice.
Yeah, for another minute and a half.
Yeah.
They would avoid fights anyways because of the Aegis, but even more reason to. That's why we were talking about him black holing the TB for so long. Because I figure if you go for any other target, then Rezo will kill you really fast.
Yeah,
he does a lot of damage.
He's got the damage. You just get absolutely melted.
Yes. I think Jarek's kind of understands that something's up. they're going to connect with the rest of the team.
The scanner hits. OG know that Maneski are making their way down here. Resolution. Looking for the cutoff. Ninja Boogie quick with the Nightmare. Hiding in the trees. Goes straight for the TP out and he'll make it. So Maneski are able to avoid that sweep coming through from OG. Jabs. Nice, though up top. Going for the TP out. As well, they'll also be safe. Getting themselves away from that.
Blink Dagger now completed from Blue. Is Fly going to walk in? There's a stun though from the DK.
The chain control, and they certainly have the damage. OG, no messing around there. And in fact, up top, Jarex, he's found Jabs in the trees. Jabs will turn, give a bit of a fight back, but with the Magnetize, slowly but surely ticking Jabs down. This is a bit of a tense 1v1. Jabs does have the Echo if he feels it's necessary. Is he going to pop it just to get the kill? We'll see. No, he holds on to it, and that'll mean he does lose his life.
They might just go high ground off of that. Jarex's pick.
There's no shaker for 20 seconds. It's not the longest of times, but in a